inches, with the low round of the day is 66. So there you see Watson.
Suspect will be different. Because of Governor Folsom's new crime law, the suspect will be tried as an adult and face the consequences. So while you may hear a lot of promises about crime, one leader is doing something about it. Governor Jim Folsom.
Not so complicated, as simple as can be. You're always a comfort, set my spirit free. Oh, you're a part of me, that's the heart of me. Dr. Pepper, you're a part of me. Dr. Pepper, you're a part of me.
Today I got a letter from a retired colonel from Kentucky. Snapple is a super product, perhaps the only good that has ever come out of New York. Let's set him straight.
I'm Ed Koch. New York City is the place where the corned beef sandwich was invented, and the first elevator that was installed, the first capital of the United States was in New York City. And it's true.
Snapple still is the best thing that ever came out of New York.
You got it.
Snapple, made from the best stuff on earth.
We're spending $16,000 a year now on every prisoner that we lock up. And that's more than a lot of people in Alabama make.
Paul Hubbard's plan to reform prisons, put nonviolent criminals in secure barracks instead of multi-million-dollar prisons, make violent criminals serve their full sentence, and put prisoners to work at hard labor to earn their own keep.
When you go to prison, you ought to have to work. It ought to be punishment. And you ought to have to go to work every day just like people who are in the free world have to go to work. Prisons ought to be about punishment.
Hubbard, governor.
2 more days until WHNT's open house.
Put it in my pocket. Just throw it in.
From a bull to a baron, from a jump shot to a long shot. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to Joe Davis Stadium live. Harold Buggs joining WHNT's own Jamie Tucker. Certainly a night to remember, Jamie.
Certainly is, Harold. And last night we saw not only a great baseball game, also basketball.
You're forgiven.
Not only did we see a great baseball game, but we also saw a great show. More than 11,000 fans in the stands last night, most of them to see the Air Jordan show playing right field, and they were not disappointed last night.
And matter of fact, we've got video proof of that. If we can roll the highlights, as they say, from last night in Act 1 of the Air Jordan show here at Joe Davis Stadium. Of course, lots of fans watching the man in right field. And with it, added security last night. Expect more tonight. But Jason Giambi trying to spoil that night to ground at a first stop. That brought home Kerwin Moore. The Stars jumped out to a 4-0 lead, and then all eyes turning to the Air Jordan show. His first time up and a pop-up. And then could he do it again? As Yogi Berra used to say, deja vu all over again. Second time up for the Air Jordan show, and facing Curtis Shaw, another pop-up. This at this point 0 for 2 on the night. Matter of fact, though, Michael Jordan, one of the few to make contact against Shaw. Then the walk. Michael Jordan, all 6'6" of him, lumbering down. And then the bad news for the Stars in the 7th inning, rips it down the left field line. That brings home the go-ahead run at this point. They built a 6-4 lead. They went on and won it by the count of 6-4. Michael Jordan on the night, going 1 for 4. His batting average now at a 300 clip entering tonight's ball game, Jamie.
And Harold, I think a lot of people are surprised that Michael Jordan is still hitting the ball pretty well. He's coming off a 13-game hitting streak against Greenville the other night. It was stopped just before they came down to Huntsville. Last night it looked as though he was going to go another 0 for 4, but a big clutch hit, double, only his second extra base hit so far this year. not only driving in a couple of runs, those were the go-ahead runs that proved to be the difference.
And speaking of his, what are Michael Jordan's thoughts? Well, by the magic of television, let's take you down and get those thoughts from Michael Jordan.
I've been in positions like that before in the past, but never in a baseball situation like that. So it was a big confidence booster for me to just come through for the team, and I can understand the call. I mean, I don't think that's a slap in the face at all. I mean, that's just winning baseball, and you know, I just was very happy to just come through and, you know, do what I had to do to get the team where it had to be. Well, I guess the pressure here is a little bit different because in basketball I have a little bit more to fall back on, some of the fundamentals, some of the techniques that I've earned and kind of professed to a point where, you know, it was more or less instinct. Here, you know, I'm earning that, I'm learning that. I'm not to that point yet, you know, so pressure is a little bit greater here because I don't have those certain fundamentals that I'm trying to get. I think it's the concentrated effort of getting those hitting instructions and taking it from, you know, batting practice to the games. That's the biggest problem, other than dealing with the media, you know, which is something that I think my teammates got a taste of today. You know, we came in, I think everybody read this comment about how it was the Birmingham Barons are an easy win for the Stars. I think that was from Paul Gaddis or whoever that is. I don't know if I ever met him.
He's upstairs, I'll tell him.
The guys wanted me to tell him a few choice words, but I can't say it right now.
And don't think that Michael Jordan doesn't read the paper and listen to television and radio, Jamie.
Not only Michael Jordan, but the rest of the Birmingham Barons, the rest of the Huntsville Stars. You know, last night that two-out double that scored the winning runs, you would think that the Huntsville Stars had won the World Series based on the reaction from the fans, pulling for Michael Jordan at that point, talking to some Stars, and didn't make them feel real good to see that the home crowd really pulling for Michael Jordan, even though they know that Michael Jordan's a big fan favorite everywhere he goes. But that was the game-winning runs, and it kind of stung a little bit for the Huntsville Stars.
Say that name, Michael Jordan all over. What a storied career. And when we come back, we'll take a look back in the rearview mirror at the outstanding career of Michael Jordan, basketball and baseball, after this timeout.
First, we will apply your payment to the accrued interest, then to any credit life insurance premiums not included in the principal. Also, the total loan amortized for the duration.
Tired of boring loans? You won't find them at AmSouth. Instead, you'll find exciting deals on everything from car loans to lines of credit, mortgage loans, and credit cards, all to save you money. No boring loans from AmSouth. The relationship people.
Mr. Jones? Mr. Jones?
Ah, the weekends. Before you, or even, turn to WHNT's Weekend Daybreak for the Valley's first local news and the Doppler 19 forecast for your backyard. From 6 to 8, Amy Woody and Robert Reeves update all the weekend news and sports scores. And Alan Moore gives you a forecast to help you plan your day for... Only on News Center 19's Weekend Daybreak. More people are buying guns for protection. Our crime rate continues to grow. How far would you go to protect your property? News Center 19's Steve Simon takes an in-depth look at crime in our neighborhoods. You'll hear from crime watch groups, home security experts, and ordinary citizens battling crime. All of them with one thing in common. Fed up, fighting back. A week-long report beginning Monday on News Center 19 at 6 and 10. We're WHNT TV 19, where local news comes first.
Well, welcome back in, everyone. Harold Bogg and Jamie Tucker live at Joe Davis Stadium on the eve of round 2 of the Air Jordan Show. Jamie, got a question for you. What were you doing about a year ago on this date?
Probably watching the Chicago Bulls in the first round of the NBA playoffs and Michael Jordan.
That's right, to wrap up what? Yet another world championship in the NBA?
That's right. And a lot of people, you know, not really knowing what Michael Jordan was going to do after that, there was a lot of talk that Michael Jordan was going to retire from the NBA, but didn't know if he would go golf, didn't know what he would do. And when he made the announcement about playing some baseball, a lot of people were surprised.
Tell you what with that. Why don't we look in the rearview mirror at that outstanding career of Michael Jordan with SportsCenter 19's own John Pearson.
He'd run out of challenges doing this. Michael Jordan had done everything playing professional basketball, so this winter he tried this, professional baseball, signing a minor league contract with the Chicago White Sox. And under the annoying and watchful eyes of the media, in spring training, Michael learned what a challenge he'd given himself, struggling throughout the spring until getting the assignment to AA Birmingham, where Michael is doing more than grinning and bearing it. He's leading the team in hitting, and it's very obvious it's the challenge that still drives him.
Yeah, it's a sense of satisfaction, but yet, you know, I still got a lot to prove for myself. I mean, at the end of the year, if I'm in this same predicament in terms of batting 300 or, you know, hitting doubles or whatever, then I feel better about my year. You know, right now, it's a good starting point for me, and I just got to continue to build on it and improve on it all season long.
And while the Barons Roadshow has kind of a carnival atmosphere to it, Michael says that doesn't bother him right now. He's dealt with it his whole adult life, and he hopes that while he's learning this game, that his teammates can get something out of this spotlight.
Even though we're somewhat of a sideshow because I'm here, you know, we take pride in the way that we play, in the way that we try to win. And I told them that, you know, I've been dealing with this for the last 6 months. Now they get a taste of it, and I think they responded well. Yeah, that's just the way the sports, you know, world is, and it's a good lesson for them, you know, even though I've been through it quite a few times.
And with all that he's dealing with, it's obvious Michael is getting and relishing the challenge, including last night when the Stars challenged him, loading the bases, and Michael came through with this 2-run double to give the Barons the lead and the eventual game-winning RBIs.
That was a great confidence booster for me, that when I'm put in that situation again, I can draw on this certain situation so that I can respond. I've done it in basketball, and tonight was a major hurdle for me, especially when the game was on the line. They walked the guy to get to me, and yet I came through. I mean, that in itself is a confidence booster for me.
And as for how long this will go on, Michael says he'll just approach it the way he's approached everything.
Take it year by year, you know. I'm not in a rush to go anywhere. I got a lot of time left, and you know, I'm living for the day and for the year, you know. As long as I continue to improve, and if I ever get that opportunity, certainly, you know, I'm going to take it, you know. But I'm going to evaluate it from year to year. I think I'm in a position that I can do that now. But, you know, how long will that be? I never like to put a limit on, you know, how long I enjoy the game.
You know, Forever MJ Show, Jamie, there are a million former stars, and covering them for 10 years now. Most of the guys never make it, as they say, to the show. And one of those guys, what, Rocky Cole, remember that young man?
I remember that name vaguely, a big star for the Stars.
We're going to refresh your mind. Standing by live with WHNT and SportsCenter 19's own Steve Johnson is the Rocky Show. Steve and Rocky?
Well, actually, it isn't the Rocky Show. It's the John Pearson Show. My gosh, you don't look like a former minor league baseball player.
Look like a former pinochle player. I don't know exactly.
Okay, well, John Pearson's going to be talking to some Stars fans and some Barons fans and some Jordan fans in just a second, but I really am going to talk to former Stars player Rocky Coyle right this second.
You're allowed.
I'll see you later.
You bet.
Okay. Rocky Coyle, the Rocky Show, as Harold called it. You played here for a few seasons. You were in the minors for 8 years. We talked when Michael Jordan first announced he was playing minor league ball, and you were a definite doubter. How do you feel now?
Well, I still, you know, he's been impressive to me, you know, as far as to be able to develop the way he has in the short time just shows the great athlete that he is. I still am not completely convinced, though, however, you know, because most of his hits have been singles. I think almost all of them are singles. He has a lot of developing to do, and I think the age factor is what I mostly was looking at, because I know he's about 4 or 5 years away, and being in the 30s, you know, that's a question. There's no doubt the man's a great athlete, though, and a great draw.
You know, he's hitting over 300 right now. Will it get harder this season? I mean, you've been in professional baseball. Does it get harder or easier?
A lot tougher. You know, the long road trips, the pitchers, you know, start as the year goes on, it starts getting tougher and tougher to keep your average up. It's April. If he's hitting 300 in August and September, then he's going to make me a believer.
Okay, now you're going to hang around and watch Michael at least for his first at-bat, or maybe first couple at-bats, and talk to us later about what you think. Do you think the fans should be here to watch Michael Jordan or to watch this baseball game?
Well, it's no doubt they're here to watch Michael Jordan. I think that's what's brought some great things to the game, if anything. But I'd like to see as many people out when the Stars are playing. It's kind of hard when they're cheering against the Stars out here.
Well, you know, it's like even Don Mincher talked about the fact that, you know, it's only natural. But I think it's great for baseball, and it's actually great for the Stars to have this many people come out.
I think it's great for baseball. I mean, I'm not against him being a part of the game or anything. It's just, I'm just, as far as his abilities go to make it to the big leagues is what I was looking at. But this is wonderful. There's everybody in town's out here. This is great.
Okay, Rocky, well, thank you, and we'll talk to you later when you get your informed opinion on Michael Jordan.
You got it. Thanks, Steve.
Okay. Now, we talked to the Huntsville Stars, including manager Gary Jones, about what they thought about Michael Jordan, and let's hear from them and see how they feel about MJ coming to town.
Well, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Michael Jordan's not coming to town. The Birmingham Barons are coming to town, and that's who we're facing.
The Michael Jordan thing, I am getting a little bit tired of hearing every time they mention Birmingham Barons, it's Michael Jordan, okay? I mean, he's doing all right, okay? I'll hand it to him. He works hard, I'll give him that. He does work hard, and he's not trying to make a joke out of it or anything. He's actually trying, and he's doing fairly well at it. So I hand it to him. You know, I'm just kind of anxious to see how he really is in person.
And as far as Michael playing in this league, I think it's great for the league. I think everybody enjoys seeing a great athlete like he is out here, you know, really trying. And I think he's proved it to a lot of people that he's taking this seriously. And I give the guy a lot of credit, and I hope he makes it.
You know, John, I think that the players and even Gary Jones, maybe they're a little bit upset with all the attention, but I think that he is beginning to make some of the doubters believers that he can play baseball. I mean, he's hitting 300, he leads the team in stolen bases. He can get it done, and there doesn't seem to be much ambivalence among the fans, though.
No, the two dumbest rumors you heard this winter were that Jimmy Johnson might be leaving the Cowboys, and that happened, and then Michael Jordan might play baseball, and that's the two stupidest things you could have heard of, and that's what happened. So, and the way he's proven everybody wrong, it's just incredible. And the fans last night, they lined up for about 2.5 hours before the game started up, and we're going to randomly pick this guy right here and ask you just what you're doing out here. Why'd you come to Joe Davis Stadium tonight?
To see Michael Jordan.
All right, well, why is it important for you to be here? I mean, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. Baseball, it's still kind of shaky. Why did you want to be out here so bad?
I don't know, I just want to be out here.
Okay, you get very close to him yet, autograph-wise?
Nope.
All righty, well, good luck to you trying to get a hangout after the game. And, of course, we got Beavis and Butthead here. Wanted to know a little bit about it. Talk about why it's important for you to be out here for Michael Jordan.
He's a good basketball player.
And he's cool. No, I won't do about Beavis joke, but just so far what you've seen of him and you hung out, probably watched him in batting practice, you think he can make it?
No.
Why not?
He's not a very good baseball player.
Okay, you want him to go back to basketball? Yeah. All right, maybe he will. Maybe he'll make it in the big time, Steve, but kind of shaky on whether or not he'll make it, but they're here for him anyway.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to talk more about Michael Jordan and a lot more about the Stars, but right now, let's go to the break. We'll be back.
All right.
Country folks really depend on their neighbors because they're not just people next door. They're your friends, people you can count on. At Williams Service, we're country folks too, and with over 40 locations, we've been your neighbor all along. We know that most people are looking for quality gasoline. That's why we sell only the finest quality, clean burning gas at competitive prices. Premium gasoline from Williams Service, a next-door neighbor you can always depend on. Down the road.
If you had captured this with your home video camera, or any of these newsworthy events, you could have been $25 richer and become a part of WHNT's News Tipper 19 network. To participate, write us in care of the station. We'll send you a packet of information and sign you up. And if we use your video, WHNT will pay you $25 and mention your name on the air. News Tipper 19, just another reason WHNT is here for you. WHNT TV 19, where local news comes first. WHNT invites the Tennessee Valley to our open house, Sunday, May 1st from noon to 4. Come out and meet the new Center 19 news team, experience our backyard weather, and meet Mr. Food, WHNT's favorite chef. Purchase one of these Mr. Food cookbooks and help MDA. We'll have balloons for the kids and magic by illusionist Jeremy Bass. Make your plans to come to WHNT's open house Sunday, May 1st from noon to 4.
And suddenly 2 became 3. Harold Bug, Jamie Tucker, and former Huntsville star Jimmy Jones. Jimmy, we can't let those guys get anything with us with Rocky. Jimmy, welcome aboard tonight.
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Back to old times here tonight, huh?
Yeah, it's the first time in a long time I've been back to the stadium.
Refresh all your memories, what, 1987 and 1988?
Right.
You got behind the plate and caught a lot of good guys coming through this organization.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was quite a few.
You have to be excited about tonight. I mean, I saw you down there a while ago. You were watching Michael Jordan taking batting practice. Now, who knows more about a batter than a catcher? So give us your perspective as a former player and a guy who's played in this league.
Well, as far as Rocky and I watching Michael hit, you know, I've got to watch him hit. I've only seen him on video and ESPN and all. And, you know, it's not fair to him if I can't see more for myself and hear rumors. I think he's got a lot of tools. He hit the ball very well, and you know, everybody gives him a mark on that he cannot get to the inside pitch.
Can he?
Last night on your show, I saw it. He hit that double down the line. So, you know, I think he's got every chance, and he's improving more and more each time I see him through ESPN and your show. And I think that, you know, sooner or later he's going to get to the point where he can handle the inside pitch as he gets later on down the season. That's the big test, is when you get into that 130, 140 game season.
Jimmy, a big guy, obviously. Michael Jordan, 6'6", standing in there. It's not often that you see a batter that big. How much of a problem is that for him to overcome that big strike zone?
Well, being Michael Jordan, being 6'6", and tall and lanky with those big long arms, it's hard. You know, you got guys like McGuire and Canseco who are almost the same height, but they don't have those long, elongated arms. But Michael Jordan, everybody feels that they can tie him inside, and I spoke with my former manager here, Brad Fisher, and those were his sentiments, and I asked him, well, Brad, he hit that inside pitch for a double down the line. He said, well, you know, being in that situation and hitting from high school ball, never playing any college, and being in the AA level, that it's a big pleasure to see a guy like Michael Jordan put the ball in play. Mm-hmm. So I have to feel that Brad and Carl Keel, who was the player development when I was playing, feel like he's got a pretty good chance to continue his baseball career.
Jimmy, one more question. Obviously, most of the guys in the Southern League, whether we like it or not, the numbers bear it out, do not make it. What kind of advantage or disadvantage is it to the guys in the Birmingham dugout and clubhouse right now to have all this hoopla with Michael Jordan in there?
Well, as far as the press and stuff is concerned, you know, the press can show you how it is, or sometimes the newspaper people can blow it out of proportion. But as far if I was in that situation, and I was with Dave Stewart and Canseco and McGuire and Steiny, which was real fun because, you know, all these people are watching these guys play, but you're with them playing, and obviously they're watching you, and it takes the pressure away from you and puts it on the main attraction, which is Michael.
Jimmy, thanks so much for joining us here tonight. Matter of fact, speaking of pressure, one of the guys who's living up marvelously under all this pressure, the guy who's behind the whole scene, the guy you know real well, Stars General Manager Don Mencher. What does Michael Jordan mean to the Southern League and folks like Stars owners and general managers?
I think that's a natural thing, of course. You know, we know what the big attraction is around here, but still, you know, you like to recognize our players. All of this stuff is great, and it's great for baseball, and I really admire Mr. Jordan for being here, but still, we need to pay some attention to our club because it is really good.
All right, so how do you use something like this where there's 10, 12,000 people are going to be here, maybe for the future, to market the team a little bit? Just talk about that a little bit.
We hope to put on our best face, and our club plays well, so people, and there's a lot of people, and we know that they've never been here before by the phone calls we're getting, and we hope they see something they enjoy, to come back and see us play other times, and to see our ball club. But if we just put our best face forward and do the things we're supposed to do, we hope we can impress 11,999 out of the 12.
All right.
Well, Don's a fan. Jimmy, we know you're a fan of Michael Jordan. I mean, you're rooting for the Stars, of course, right?
Right.
But you're still rooting for Michael as far as his career goes. And I think we got some guys standing by who are also rooting for Michael Jordan tonight and the Stars, standing by with our very own Steve Johnson. Let's go downstairs and check in with Steve and John Pearson.
Well, yeah, I'd say there's fans here that are for the Stars. In fact, most of them are, but there are some who probably are just here to see Michael play.
Yeah, the loudest cheer of the night did come when Birmingham came out of the dugout and Michael stepped onto the top step. But the Stars fans were saying they're here all the time anyway, the Booster Club and all them. They want people to cheer for everybody on the Stars, and then that one guy comes up from Birmingham, it's okay, unless the bases are loaded like
I'm gonna check a couple of fans who have seats and see if they come in with. Well, no Beavis and Butthead. Now, let me ask you this, sir. Could I have your name?
Monty Love.
Monty Love. Are you a regular Stars fan?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you are. So you're not just here to see Michael Jordan?
No, no.
What do you think about all these people out to see him, or most of them are probably out to see him?
Well, we welcome their money. We need all the help.
It's part owner. But you think this is good for baseball?
Yeah, I do. I think it's great. The more people we can get out to see the game, the more we can get to come back next time.
Okay, well, hopefully that will happen. And you've watched the Stars, good baseball club?
I love them. Yeah, they're a great club.
Okay, I assume, is that your son?
Yes.
What about this? You like Michael Jordan? Are you here for the Stars or for Michael Jordan?
Both of them.
Both of them. Diplomat. Okay, let me see where we are here. Anyway, the fans are excited. They're here to see the Stars. They're here to see Michael Jordan, and we'll talk more about this game. We'll talk about something that has absolutely nothing to do with Michael Jordan. Golf in this stadium? Yeah. You stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, folks. Dan Walters here at Performance Toyota Mazda Indicator. Two pieces of good news for you. This week, big savings on every Toyota in our giant inventory. In fact, a couple examples for you, folks. Make that short drive right now. Drop home a brand new Toyota Camry LE, just like this one. Or how about a sporty Toyota Celica? Brand new, folks. Your choice, just $239 a month. Now, second piece of good news, this week only, big savings for all you credit union members. Credit union sale happening right here at Performance Toyota Mazda, 6th and Beltline Indicator. Don't miss out. You come and see us.
In Alabama, we live a little differently. We still believe in basic values, and Jim Folsom understands.
I've been blessed with a wonderful family, a wife and two great children. And I try to teach them the same values that I learned as a child, the value of hard work and giving something back to the community.
Honest values we all share. Decency, sincerity.
And that's something that I try to do every day as a father and as governor.
Come on, I know where it is.
I don't know about this.
Ah, here it is. Man, be careful with that thing. It could go off. Man, this is so cool. I could...
Guns kill 14 kids a day in America, and hundreds of others are wounded and paralyzed in accidental shootings. Parents, secure your guns. If your child uses your gun, you could be held liable, and the costs are high. Join the Huntsville Police Department, and together, let's stop the violence.
If you had captured this with your home video camera, or any of these newsworthy events, you could have been $25 richer and become a part of WHNT's News Tipper 19 network. To participate, write us in care of the station. We'll send you a packet of information and sign you up. And if we use your video, WHNT will pay you $25 and mention your name on the air. News Tipper 19, just another reason WHNT is here for you.
Harold Bug, Jamie Tucker, and former Huntsville star Jimmy Jones joining us here as the tick-tock counts down to the Michael Jordan Show. And Jimmy, I got to ask you a question. You know, we've talked basketball and we've talked baseball tonight. When you were here back in the mid-'80s, did they have what we have over here on the right field fence? You don't have a clue, do you? Tell you what, take a look at the monitor. Let's take a look at the appropriate place for Michael Jordan to play. Right field, guess what's behind the wall?
Now, Tom McAfee is the head groundskeeper at Joe Davis Stadium, but apparently he's also chief greenskeeper, as Tom is the architect of the Stars' stress-releasing, mind-boggling 9-tee, one-hole course just outside Joe Davis Stadium.
All right. That's better shape right there. Yeah, I can make it from there.
And as players Mark Sobolewski and Doug Johns discovered, Jack Nicklaus couldn't have created a more challenging and unique course.
Uh-oh, kick right into the wood.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, up against the fence.
That's a tough shot. That's not where you want to be.
It's a good thing we got the cart pass.
It is a good thing.
I love being a groundskeeper in baseball and everything else, but, you know, I like golf, too. It, you know, helps you improve your game, putting, you know, short game and everything else like that. Plus, you know, it's just a lot of fun just to get out and relax, take some of the stress away.
Now, Tom's stress reliever would probably give Arnold Palmer tension headaches with more hazards per square inch than any course in America. But the course has everything, including an island hole in the middle of the parking lot.
Now here out back of Joe Davis Stadium, these guys prove they are not just puttering around. It takes an iron will to do anything on this course. They say Augusta National, where they play the Masters, is challenging. As for challenging, you can keep Augusta.
I've been to Augusta. Augusta's nice. It is. You know, it has the reputation, the green jacket and that kind of stuff. It's got tradition. But it doesn't have what this golf course has. This is more of a, you know, a personable type. You know, you get to golf with the guy, the architect. You know, I don't even know who built Augusta, but I've never golfed with him.
All the obstacles in the middle. You know, on the course, you usually maybe get a lake or a bunker, but here, a shed. It's kind of tough to get around a shed.
All right, and it is more exclusive than Augusta. Are you guys going to start charging membership fees?
It's tough to get on this course, you know. Although Augusta is probably the same thing, but I don't think anybody could afford the greens fees that it takes to play on this one.
And as the Stars look to continue mastering the league, thanks to their own personal golf course, they know they can probably handle any obstacle.
The Stars' secret weapon, you know.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Not at this particular course, but most of the time I'm in rough exactly like that.
So tonight, if we miss Michael Jordan out in right field, we'll know where to find him over there trying to get the putt. Coming into the ball game, we're just moments away. Jimmy, any final thoughts on what the folks can expect to see tonight here on WHNT?
Well, I think knowing Gary Jones, I think they'll play a good, hard, aggressive game. As for the Barons, you know, of course, everybody's here to see Michael, and so am I, and I want to see him hit in a game situation besides batting practice and on ESPN and your show.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us, Jimmy Jones. Jamie Tucker on behalf of the entire Sports Center 19. Kick back, sit back, get ready for the play-by-play action of the Huntsville Stars and the Birmingham Barons just ahead.
If you had captured this with your home video camera, or any of these newsworthy events, you could have been $25 richer and become a part of WHNT's News Tipper 19 network. To participate, write us in care of the station. We'll send you a packet of information and sign you up. And if we use your video, WHNT will pay you $25 and mention your name on the air. News Tipper 19, just another reason WHNT is here for you. WHNT TV 19, where local weather comes first.
Sammy's back in the sports spotlight, and the whole Cheers gang wants to share it.
I'm standing here at a popular Boston watering hole called Cheers.
What's wrong with his voice? Uh-oh, this flash just in. Well, looks like Sam's old news.
I'll catch you later, huh?
Maybe it's time for this old sport to try a new game, huh?
I tell you, go for it.
Welcome to the Kiss and Flip competition. Next time on Cheers.
Tonight at 10:35 on TV 19.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see one of the nights to remember here in the Tennessee Valley sports history. The night the Air Jordan Show rockets through the Rocket City, Jamie.
It's going to be interesting to see the reaction from the crowd. I think right now we've got the WHNT Hound Dog News Hound. That's it.
That's Elvis's favorite fan right there. That's a News Hound making the ceremonial opening pitch here tonight, along with WHNT's on Dick Curtis. I tell you what, the News Hound is in some bad hands there. If he's taking his coaching from Dick, as you can see, look at that, pretty good stuff, huh?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Better than I've done.
Look out, Michael Jordan. He's in trouble. I can tell now.
We've got quite a few folks still filing into the stadium, trying to find their seats before this ball game starts. We're going to see a great ball game from two good ball clubs.
Indeed. And go ahead and get your seat, get the popcorn popper ready. We get ready to take on some historical television for you tonight. It's the Air Jordan Show here on WHNT.
The following is a presentation of WHNT TV.
7,000 last night, one of the top 10 crowds of all time here at Joe Davis Stadium tonight. They look to bust that wide open, Jamie Tucker. This is Harold Bugg along with Jamie Tucker and the entire Sports Center 19 team from WHNT getting set to bring you play-by-play action of the Huntsville Stars and the Birmingham Barons. And Jamie, you can tell by the looks on the faces of the young and the young at heart, this will be a good night.
Especially from the people sitting in the right field bleacher seats, those general admission seats turning out to be quite a bargain tonight because they've got an excellent seat at the air show. Michael Jordan batting 7th tonight as he did last night. Last night 1 for 4 with a walk and a strikeout. But most importantly, Harold, as we mentioned in the pregame show, a 2-out, 2-run double, only his 2nd extra base hit of the year, and it proved to be the winning runs for the Birmingham Barons.
Indeed, and speaking of 7th, let's set the stage for you tonight, starting with the Birmingham starting lineup for you. Leading off, that's Doug Brady, the 2nd baseman for the Birmingham Barons. Kevin Coughlin, the center fielder, will be batting 2nd. At the number 3 spot, Scott Tedder, the DH tonight. In the cleanup spot, Mike Robertson, he is a good one out in left field tonight. Chris Snowpeck, he'll be at 3rd base batting 5th. Troy Fryman, the 1st baseman tonight after DHing last night. After Fryman, we get Michael Jordan at the number 7 spot. Number 8, Ken Coleman at shortstop. And tonight, in that number 9 spot, will be Nunez, the catcher for the Birmingham Barons. Jamie, we're ready for the first pitch here tonight. On the mound for the Huntsville Stars, it's Russ Brock, 0-2 on the year, a 2.73 earned run average. So he hasn't gotten the wins, but he's got an outstanding earned run average. First pitch, pops straight up. Izzy Molina looks at it, puts a squeeze on it. Simple as that. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Good to get Izzy Molina back in the lineup tonight. He had a shoulder problem earlier. He was able to run, but he couldn't hit the ball. He couldn't take any swings. Took batting practice last night. He told me earlier today that he thought he could have gone last night, and the Stars really could have used him. They had problems behind the plate last night with the Stars.
Jared Beard with a good stick, but not much leather last night. Reached on a single and a walk. Up next for the Birmingham Barons, Kenneth Coughlin, the center fielder. And he misses for a ball, 1-0. We're looking at a young man tonight, Russ Brock, who probably will be pitching in the neighborhood of 100 pitches, somewhere in around 6 or 7 innings. And it makes the night go better if all of them are like that. It evens the count up at a ball and a strike.
Both pitchers tonight, Harold, looking for their first win. Some bad luck for Russ Brock. I've seen him pitch 3 times and just has some tough luck.
Lost his second one 6-2 to Memphis his last time out, and there's a single back up the box, the opening hit here tonight. So the Barons have the first runner in the person of Kevin Coughlin.
Last night, Harold, the Birmingham Barons really beat the Huntsville Stars at their own game, scoring 3 runs in 3 consecutive innings in the 6th, 7th, and the 8th. That's been sort of the Huntsville Stars type season. They've been scoring a lot of runs late in the games, and most of the games being close. But last night, the Birmingham Barons kind of turning the card on them, turning the tables rather, with Michael Jordan.
Be an interesting scenario here. Molina throwing out somewhere in the neighborhood of 45% of the runners. In case you're wondering, that is outstanding. 30% will be all right, but 47% certainly outstanding. We'll see if Coughlin will test that arm. The first pitch on the corner for a strike, 0-1.
Coughlin only has 1 stolen base on the year. It'll be a big chance for him to steal.
Molina sets up outside and paints the corner, and that means Brock gets out in front. No balls, 2 strikes. Just underway here on a beautiful night, and if we may thank Tim Simpson over at WHNT and Weather Center 19, thanks for the forecast. Beautiful night here tonight.
He'll take credit for it, weather like this.
Here's the 0-2 offering, and it just misses outside. The count goes to 1-2. Like we said, Izzy Molina, one of the top. In fact, he is considered to be the top catching prospect in the entire Oakland A's organization. So some high honors when you consider another young man who came through here a few years ago by the name of Terry Steinbach. Here's a throw over. Brock not showing him his good move yet, but letting him know he's there. Got a righty and a lefty. Kevin Coughlin on it first. Scott Tedder, the DH, waits the 1-2 pitch, check swing, and he got him to go fishing for out number 2 here in the top half of the first inning.
Russ Brock showing some good fastballs, got some good heat. He's 6'5", 220 pounds, 24 years old, from Cincinnati, Ohio, and playing for the Stars this year. Last year he played with Modesto and had a pretty good season. 12-4 with a 3.81 ERA for Modesto. That earned him a promotion to Huntsville.
Speaking of promotions, Mike Robertson, talking with some of the Barons before the game, should be in AAA ball right now, but he got caught up in the numbers game. We know about the Chicago organization right now with the likes of Frank Thomas over at first base. Kind of tough to move Big Frank out, the former Auburn Tiger. Looks like Coughlin is bothering Brock a bit. Steps off the rubber, now steps back on. We'll look in and get a signal. Brock to the belt and to the plate. And Robertson takes outside.
Robertson batting .313 on the season. Played in all 20 games for the Birmingham Barons, playing very well. He has 17 RBIs on the year so far for Birmingham.
Played first base last night, showing some of his versatility out in left field tonight and batting cleanup. Another throw back to first. The Stars outfield playing straight away. And when we talk about an outfield, all the A's are high on this outfield. They can get them and go. They tell me it's like having 3 center fielders, meaning they've got the speed. A little closer on the throw to first. Kevin Coughlin, he has to be good now. He's got his uniform dirty, so he's ready to go. Russ Brock sets. Here's the 1-0 with 2 outs and another throw to first. And again, Coughlin comes diving back in.
Coughlin, again, as we mentioned, doesn't have blazing speed. Only 1 stolen base so far this year. Not taking a tremendous lead for the Birmingham Barons, but Russ Brock still wanting to keep him close, especially with 2 outs.
Russ Brock with a fastball and a curveball. Doesn't throw the slider that much, they tell me. Here's the pitch, and it misses. And the count goes to 1-0. Chicago White Sox, of course, known for their, I guess, connection to the Auburn Tigers. They had a fellow by the name of Bo a few years back, then Frank Thomas, and a guy who played last night, won't be seen tonight, by the name of Chris Hart, who was in the lineup. So 3 fellows with roots to the Auburn Tigers. And there's a shot down to first base. Stepping on, Scott Shockey for out number 3. So Barons get a runner on, but nothing across as we go to the bottom half of the first inning. No score.
Just like you, Williams Service is proud to call North Alabama home. Williams Service and the local operators of Williams Service Stations supply quality gasoline at the lowest possible prices to their communities across North Alabama. Now, with 50 locations and continuing to grow, Williams Service thanks you for your support. Williams Service promises to continue to be a good friend close by you can count on. Williams Service, quality gasoline, low prices, friendly people, and just like you, at home in North Alabama.
First, we will apply your payment to the accrued interest, then to any credit life insurance premiums not included in the principal. Also, the total loan amortized for the duration.
Tired of boring loans? You won't find them at AmSouth. Instead, you'll find exciting deals on everything from car loans to lines of credit, mortgage loans, and credit cards, all to save you money. No boring loans from AmSouth. The relationship people.
Mr. Jones? Mr. Jones?
WHNT invites the Tennessee Valley to our open house, Sunday, May 1st from noon to 4. Come out and meet the new Center 19 news team, experience our backyard weather, and meet Mr. Food, WHNT's favorite chef. Purchase one of these Mr. Food cookbooks and help MDA. We'll have balloons for the kids and magic by illusionist Jeremy Bass. Make your plans to come to WHNT's open house Sunday, May 1st from noon to 4.
Bottom half of the first inning, the Stars taking the bait. Let's give you the starting lineup for the Huntsville Stars. Kerwin Moore leading off. He can get them. 71 stolen bases last year. Mark Sobolewski, the outstanding number 2 man, one of the big surprises, batting third for the Huntsville Stars this year. Jason Giambi down at third base. Clean up tonight for the Stars. Ernie Young, talk about an outstanding year for Ernie. Scott Shockey, you just saw him at first base batting fifth. At the number 6 spot, Izzy Molina. At the number 7 spot tonight for the Stars, there's Chris Hart out of the outfield for him. And number 8, Jason Wood. And the number 9 hitter tonight, Damon Mayshore. And there you have the Stars starting lineup. Once again, Kerwin Moore leading things off, and he skies it to center field. No problems out in center for Kevin Coughlin, who puts a squeeze on for out number 1 here in the bottom half of the first inning.
And Harold, the Stars are up against a guy who last year at Sarasota, one of the top pitchers in the White Sox organization, Luis Andahar. This year, though, he's had some bad luck. 0-3 with an ERA of nearly 6. So the Stars have a chance to really jump on him early.
If they're going to even up the series, it is tonight. The Southern League right now batting .337. I can tell you that will not get you to the big show, so some improvement obviously needed. for Mr. Andujar.
Especially if your team is only batting .245 on the season. That's a good bit of a discrepancy there, and you're not going to win any games that way.
Here's a guy who's got a little extra pressure on him tonight. He's going for a Southern League record. He has scored in 12 straight games. If he scores tonight, and we hope he does, that would set a Southern League record at 13. Mark Sobolewski, we can tell you that he started out the season batting number 9, but he has outstanding bat control. And Gary Jones has moved into that all-important number 2 spot to try and help move Kerwin Moore over with some sacrifice flies and sacrifice bunts, I should say.
He can certainly pick up the clutch hits, batting .333 so far this season for the Stars, and he's been a go-getter.
And he's out in front here, 0-1. Here's the pitch, and it's over. Evens up the count at a ball and a strike.
Kind of one of those second basemen sort of reminds you of Mark Lemke for the Atlanta Braves organization. A good hustler.
Louis Andujar hits him in the head. Sobolewski earning a ticket to first base the hard way. Apparently he's all right, showing no signs whatsoever. Let's go to the replay and take another look at it.
Just coming on inside. Boy, I tell you, and Luis Andujar's got a good fastball, so that must have taken him right on the top of the helmet. I think we can see it in this instant replay.
You notice Mark has
right in the back
an ear flap on both sides of his helmet, so thank goodness for that. In the old days, the macho route, they had no ear flaps whatsoever, but now they've got the ear flaps on there.
Good thing he's playing today, or he would be on the ground. That ball was coming hard and inside.
Jason Giambi up now, the third baseman, hitting .208 with a chance to move Sobolewski over. He'll take outside. Andujar, his bread and butter pitch, they tell me, is the change, but he has to get out in front with a fastball to make the change effective. So far, his numbers bear out the fact that he does not.
Played rookie ball down in Sarasota in '92. He was the pitcher of the year for the White Sox.
Sobolewski with a lead at first. A throw over. Jason Giambi hoping to move him over for the number 3 and 4 hitters. Make that the number 4 and 5, Ernie Young and Scott Shockey. Andujar with a look to first. And he misses outside. And he falls behind 2-0, and that's what the Barons were telling me before the game. He doesn't want to fall behind. When you're relying on your changeup, the last thing you want to do is fall behind in the count. Sobolewski with a lead. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And he misses again, so the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes.
Talking to some of the Birmingham Barons about Andujar, they tell me that when he's on, he cannot be beaten. Obviously, he hasn't had a good season, hasn't been on yet so far. He's down way behind in this count to Giambi.
On deck, the hot man, Ernie Young. Here's a 3-0 pitch, swinging on 3-0, getting the green light from Gary Jones and calling it back into the stands. The count will go to 3 balls and 1 strike with 1 out here in the home half of the first inning for the Huntsville Stars. We're so proud you joined us tonight here on WHNT.
Gary Jones giving Jason Giambi the green light with 3 balls and no strikes and only 1 out. Got a lot of confidence.
Nice thing about Gary Jones, he is a Whitey Herzog. He loves aggressive baseball. Here's a 3-1 offering, and Giambi will foul it off again. The count goes full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Sobolewski running on that pitch.
Great pitch for a hit and run, 3-1. We can tell you that the Barons do have some good arms behind the plate. Nunez, a lot like Molina, he's got a rifle back there, so it would be tested. The Stars with a lot of speed. I'm sure we'll see that before the night's over.
Nunez didn't play last night. Had a guy, Chris Tremmy, playing for the Barons last night. Long road trip for the Barons, so some of the guys sitting a night out.
And as our buddy Jimmy Jones would tell you, a catcher would love it. There's a swing and a miss, to throw down, and he's in there. Sobolewski with a stolen base. Strike him out, stolen base.
Take a look at this replay, Harold. You'll see that Luis Andujar putting the ball up. That gives Sobolewski a real good chance at getting down to second base. Had an excellent chance to, got a good jump on the pitch, and the fact that it was high caused the catcher have to bring it back down and then release. Otherwise, it may have been an out.
And most will tell you that more bases are stolen on pitchers than on catchers. That will bring up Ernie Young with a runner in scoring position for the Stars, a chance to break out on top here in the home half of the first inning. Ernie Young with an outstanding year on the year, batting .360. Here's the pitch he takes on the corner. for a strike.
Ernie, one of those guys that the Oakland Athletics are very high on. A lot of people think that Ernie's going to be in Tacoma before the end of May even.
He's got it all.
He can hit for power, he can hit for average, and a real team leader is Ernie Young.
He'd like to add to those totals right here. 0-1 to count. Andujar missing outside. That'll even up the count at a ball and a strike.
Ernie's one of the leaders in the Southern League in home runs. He has 4 so far this year, and he, as you said, he would love to add to that. Anything he can do to earn a spot at Tacoma, he'd love to be able to get that chance.
No one wants him to get a hit more here than Russ Brock, the Stars pitcher tonight. Time being called. Great crowd tonight, expecting to reach over 12,000, the all-time record. Somewhere over 12,000 when the Oakland A's came here back in 1986. Of course, we'll keep you posted as to whether they break that total or not. In the meantime, the 1-1 pitch, and Ernie rips it to left. Will it drop? Looks like it will. Here's a turn at third. Sobolewski will make the turn. They're going to have a play at the plate. No, the throw is wide, and that breaks a Southern League record. Mark Sobolewski with a run scored in 13 straight games, and better yet, it puts the Stars on top, 1-0.
I think the folks in the Stars dugout know that Mark just set a new Southern League record. Some of the fans probably do too. He comes around and runs the bases very well. A lot like, as we mentioned, a Mark Lemke type of guy. He's going to take that chance. They're going to give him the green light coming around third base, and he really got a good jump. The throw from the outfield, though, wide, and giving Mark an excellent chance to get in for the score.
And that allows Ernie Young to take a base. He's now down his second and scoring position himself with Scott Shockey up.
This is what the Birmingham Barons are afraid of, getting for the Stars to hit Luis Andujar early. This is exactly what they do not want, and know that that's what he's been doing all season.
Scott Shockey pulverizing one last night. He crushed one to left center, a 2-bagger to help the Stars early. Here's the pitch, and it misses for a ball. Ernie Young doing it again for the Huntsville Stars. Having them break on top, 1-0 here in the first inning. Shockey trying to add to that lead. He's in front of the count. 1 ball, no strikes. Andujar to the plate. Foul back to the screen. And the count will even up at a ball and a strike.
Andujar not walking that many people last year at Sarasota. Boy, he had a strikeout to walk ratio of nearly 6. He strikes out a lot, but he doesn't walk very many batters. That's the kind of pitcher that you want, but it really hasn't been helping him so far this year because he's been giving up a lot of hits.
The book on him tonight, he's supposed to pitch somewhere between 100 and 115 pitches. Thrown a bunch here in the first inning. Here's the 1-1 offering. Shockey takes a ball, 2 balls, and 1 strike.
3 outings for Andujar. He's only pitched a little over 19 innings, 19 2/3 innings for the Barons.
Andujar behind the count. He'll look to second and bring it to Shockey. He takes a strike, and that evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The deuce is wild here with 2 outs. On deck for the Stars, Izzy Molina. It's going to be interesting to see him bat. He hasn't batted in a while. He's had an injury, and Garrett Beard has spelled him in that interim and has done an outstanding job. Came off the bench at a 3-run homer earlier in the week. So the Stars blessed with some good catching talent this year.
Izzy excited to get back in that lineup tonight. Wanted to go last night.
Here's the pitch. Shockey back to the screen. The count will hold at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This is the 3rd different city for the Birmingham Barons in the last week. They've played in Nashville, played in Greenville. Now they're coming to Huntsville, and a lot of these players are pretty tired because life on the bus, even the bus that the Birmingham Barons have this year, isn't the kind of life that you want to lead for about a week.
Here's the pitch, foul down the first base line. We can tell you that a lot of folks are responding. You talked about them being on the road, an average of almost 9,000 fans at home and on the road. They figure that if they keep up this pace, the Birmingham Barons will draw over 1 million fans this year between their home and road attendance. That has to be good for baseball.
And you rarely hear about a minor league team setting records for attendance on the road. They usually don't even keep up with those kind of statistics. But everywhere the Birmingham Barons have played this year, the stadiums have been packed. 10,000 in Chattanooga, 10,000 in Nashville, 10,000 in Greenville. It's really been something.
Not too many NBA players playing on those teams coming in, I'm sure. Here's the 2-ball, 2-strike count to Scott Shockey. And he misses upstairs. The count will go full at 3-2. You talked about the bus, what, $350,000 that Michael Jordan has well been documented. He bought for the teams, got recliners, VCRs.
Actually, I found out yesterday that they are leasing that bus from a country gospel group out of Birmingham called the Thrasher Brothers. So if you see a bus in the next couple of days driving through the Tennessee Valley with the Thrasher Brothers on it, you know that along with the Birmingham Barons, Michael Jordan is on that bus. It does have the VCRs and the televisions and the reclining seats and air conditioning, but pretty nice bus. They've leased it for 90 days as the Barons.
3-2 pitch. Shockey skies it to left field. Coming on the left fielder. And that's Mike Robertson will put the squeeze on and take care of the Barons here in the first inning. But they do shock on the Ernie Young RBI single. And the Stars will break out on top as we head to the top half of the second inning. It's the Stars 1, the Barons nothing.
There's a special kind of feeling, a special kind of trust that comes when you call Cooks. A special kind of knowing, a special satisfaction that comes when you call the best. Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cooks Pest Control.
Right now at Stapler Furniture Outlet, get factory direct prices on luxurious leather furnishings. Stapler is overstocked on sofas, recliners, and love seats by Leathercraft and Natuzzi, and more are arriving daily. If you love leather, Stapler is the place. Also see Stapler's impressive collection of all types of patio furniture at outlet prices. Names like Lion Shaw, Winston & Lloyd Flanders. Make your selection now or Stapler will special order for you. Stapler Furniture Outlet just outside Huntsville and Paint Rock, where you get factory direct prices every day.
Good job. You passed your test.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. Alabama law drives home this message to young people aged 15 to 19. With very few exceptions, you must stay in school to apply for your Alabama driver's license or keep your current license. Stay in school. It's the smart thing to do.
Don't throw away the keys to your future. Stay in school. A message from the Alabama Department of Education's Driver Education Program and the Department of Public Safety.
Top half of the second inning, the good guys, the Stars on top, breaking out with 1-0 now. Ernie Young with the RBI single in the bottom half of the first inning. And joining us here in the second inning, Stars General Manager Don Mencher. Don, thanks for joining us. I see you got, what, your feet up on cloud 9 up there. You have to be a happy man right now.
I'm telling you, we got every seat filled in here just enough. I think somebody just fitted them all in here with a shoehorn, and it's a perfect crowd, it looks like.
Leading off, Chris Snowpack. All you SEC fans may remember Snowpack when he played at Ole Miss back a few years ago. The last Rebel, by the way, to hit over 400. Since then, Ole Miss, well, you know, they had one of your old buddies up there a few years ago coaching down there. There's the cut back foul and now the play. Now they got Don Kessinger down there at Ole Miss. So Snowpack been some good hands down there. Of course, Don Mencher, a former major leaguer himself. How does this night compare with all the nights you've been up there, Don?
Well, really, to have a full house is unbelievable. This kind of reminds me of the 1985-86 eras here at the stadium when we had Canseco and Steinbach and those guys.
Snowpack taking it high and tight.
But, you know, we've had some crowds like that before, but nothing, I don't think, to this capacity. And for just one guy, it's unbelievable.
Because for a series, have you seen this many fans coming in for 3 consecutive nights?
Never.
The all-speed pitch. It catches the corner, and out number 1, Snowpack will take a seat for out number 1.
The closest we've ever come, of course, is when Bo Jackson came through here with Memphis at, I don't know what, 8-9 years ago. He almost filled it for 3 times, but nothing like this. This is the first time ever for us.
Let's go ahead and get the scoop. What kind of numbers are you going to go ahead and be bold and guess on, Don?
I'm going to say, Harold, that somewhere along the line, we're going to be close to 13,000 tonight. I know we can sit down almost 11,000.
So in other words, history, this would be the biggest crowd of all time.
Well, that would make us all happy, and I really think we're going to make that.
Troy Fryman trying to make the Barons happy. He DH'd last night. He's playing first base tonight for the Barons. He's up with 1 out.
And Troy's got a big brother, Troy Fryman, Travis Fryman's little brother. Travis Fryman, of course, the infielder for the Detroit Tigers. A couple of little brothers to major leaguers playing for the Barons tonight. Glenn DeSarcina, that last name is probably familiar. The Angel shortstop, Greg, playing his little brother playing for the Barons. So a couple of big names, Harold, other than Michael Jordan, who has walked out of the dugout. That he's on deck now.
And Fryman showing a big league eye there. He laid off. And he's still up. Don, what does a Michael Jordan mean for the Southern League? I mean, I know that wherever the Barons go, they have drawn outstanding crowds. There's strike 3 on the breaking pitch. And out number 2. 2 up and 2 strikeouts for Russ Brock.
Here he is.
Here comes a guy. I'm telling you, not only has he just brought out the good crowds, but I think he's made people aware of minor league baseball. That's a big thing for us, Harold. And the guy has been phenomenal. And, you know, he's playing pretty well, too.
And don't adjust your sets. All those flashes you're seeing on the screen, not a weak television. Those are camera bulbs trying to record this night, and I'm sure a lot of grandchildren in the future will be seeing this night. And a strike on the inside corner. You know, Don, you know about the inside part of the plate, especially a young guy. It seems like last night they started him inside, Curtis Shaw, and once again tonight, Russ Brock coming inside. Here's the pitch, shortens the bunt, fouls it off, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Everybody knows the book on Michael Jordan. You pitch him inside. He's got very long arms. You don't want him to extend those things. Keep him inside with a fastball and throw the breaking ball away, even for a ball. I think you'll see right now us come back with a breaking ball out of the strike zone, trying to get him to chase that pitch. Either that or you're going to see a fastball right up around the letter somewhere. If you throw a fastball down the center of the plate right here, you've made a very huge mistake.
And this is what separates the Double-A from the major show, those 0-2 counts. Can he handle it? Here's the pitch, and he stays alive.
It was a breaking ball. It was a breaking ball. It was a strike. I don't think he meant to throw a strike, but Michael hung right with it.
And Michael's getting around a little bit quicker now, Don. He learned those fundamentals in spring training where he really struggled, but now he's learning to get around on some of those inside pitches, as we saw last night with that 2-run double.
6'6", got a big strike zone. Here's the pitch. Can he hit it? Yes. Russ Brock comes inside, and 1, 2, 3 strikes out the side here in the Barons half of the second inning. So we head to the bottom half of the second inning. The Stars up 1-0.
Who slice it fresh, don't you know?
Simply Blimpy from Fresh Slice Slub.
Slubs? What's a slub?
Never skimpy, never wimpy. Simply, simply Blimpy.
Simply Blimpy from Fresh Slice Slub. Or Fresh Slice.
At Blimpy, we use only fresh sliced meats and cheeses in our subs. That's why you can say...
It's simply Blimpy's. 2 Huntsville locations.
Simply Blimpy.
Hi, I'm Dave with D&D Engines. We're building a new, all-indoors engine and transmission warehouse. One of the first of its kind with large inventory, low prices, and better quality. We're installing an engine and transmission test machine that will guarantee that what you buy will work the first time. So come on down and help us blow out the old way with a bang. We're selling out 8 years of inventory to start off all new just for you. All inventory must go. Dealers welcome, quantity price breaks. D&D Engines, Hazel Green.
More people are buying guns for protection. Our crime rate continues to grow. How far would you go to protect your property? News Center 19's Steve Simon takes an in-depth look at crime in our neighborhoods. You'll hear from crime watch groups, home security experts, and ordinary citizens battling crime. All of them with one thing in common. Fed up, fighting back. A week-long report beginning Monday on News Center 19 at 6 and 10.
You're looking live at the pitcher's best friend. A wind blowing in, the flag showing that tonight. Andujar don't mind that, Don Mencher, as we get ready to go here in the second inning.
Well, it's great. You look out there and see it blowing. It's going to take about, I'd say, 7 feet off a fly ball. So you can throw the ball a little bit more inside with confidence that it's going to take a shot to get it out of here. But, you know, everybody in the park, especially players, are aware of that wind.
Izzy Molina would like to take advantage of it here. He doesn't want to hit it out. He just wants to add to the lead. He'll take a single, to bunt, you name it.
He's just glad to be playing. He's been out for a while now, and he's been very edgy on the bench trying to get in the lineup, and now here he is.
Izzy Molina with a .218 batting average today. He takes it upstairs for a ball. It'll be Molina, Chris Hart, and Jason Wood here in the Stars half of the second inning.
Don, Izzy Molina, one of the guys that the Oakland A's really high on. What is it about this guy? The total package?
He really is. He's a guy that's very compact, very strong. He's a great receiver. He knocks the ball down well. hits right-handed with power, and, you know, Terry Steinbach is going to play a few more years, and I think they'll move Terry to first base eventually, and this guy's going to take his place.
Izzy is making his bid right there. He sneaks it under the glove of Doug Brady at second, and Izzy must have heard you talking about the big show there, Don. He's wanting to know if they've got a fax on the way to Tacoma. He leads off the second with a single here.
Yeah, they're really high on this guy, and Ernie Young and Curtis Shaw, a lot of these guys really, Jamie, you're going to see some guys, I say within the next 3 years, you're going to see 7 of these guys in the big leagues. Maybe not with Oakland, but somewhere they're going to be playing big league. This is a good ball club.
That's a big ratio. 7 guys coming from one minor league team to the majors.
Right, and we haven't had one like that since 1985-86, but this one could be that good.
You're looking at a rare sight here, the former Auburn Tiger Chris Hart with a clean uniform, Don.
Yeah, you're right. It won't be long.
He's not happy until he gets it dirty, is he?
No.
Andujar with a worry at first base in the person of Molina. Chris Hart will take a strike, trying to add to his .286 batting average on the year.
Chris Hart, one of those guys that, Don, you really get some clutch hits out of. When you need a base hit with a runner on third, Chris Hart, DH, has been able to get him home.
I can't think of a better guy you'd like to have up there. He's a good hit and run man, so you might look for that right here.
We'll see. No balls, 1 strike. Molina with a lead inside. The count will even up at a ball and a strike.
Yeah, this is manager's delight right here. 1-1 or 2-1. Gary Jones, who does like to run, even though you got a kind of a slow runner at first base, he'll take off any time. And I'm going to say he may hit and run right here, but if it goes to 2 balls and 1 strike, you can just bet your dollar on it.
Would you compare this team with the teams of the St. Louis Cardinals back in the mid-'80s with Whitey Herzog? In fact, bingo, just like that, Don. You must have a pipeline down there. Molina off and running. Well, and Hart taps it foul.
Yeah, you do. You know, you see guys that love to run. Gary Jones, when he played here, was a guy that really liked to move a lot, and he manages that way. Fundamental baseball, and if he gets the count right, and, you know, the best time to hit and run is after you hit and run. The count's not right, but Gary Jones just might do it again. You never know.
And that's what makes this team exciting. If you go by the book, 1 and 2, you can usually shorten up if you're the catcher, but we'll see if Gary Jones doesn't have him on the move here. Andujar, a throw over, trying to keep him close. Nobody out here in the Stars' half of the second inning. You're looking at part of a historical crowd behind Mr. Andujar there. An estimated over 13,000, which would be the biggest crowd ever to turn out here at Joe Davis Stadium to see a Stars game. And Hart goes fishing for one up high and will take a seat. Out number 1 here in the Stars' half of the second inning. That'll bring up Jason Wood. You have to like this guy, Don.
Jason Wood is a guy that, just like Kurt Abbott, whom we had here last year, is a guy that really likes to play hard. He's another one of those guys, Jamie, we were talking about a while ago, that I think is going to be in the big leagues somewhere within the next 3 or 4 years. He's great defensively. He's just beginning to learn the art of hitting, hit and run guy, and you may see it again here, by the way. So here's a guy you really like to watch play.
Batting .250 coming in, the throw over.
It's interesting, Don, you mentioned he would probably be in the major leagues. Oakland Athletics the last couple of years been trying to fill the slot of Walt Wise, who they let go to the Colorado Rockies, and really not finding a shortstop to really fill that hole long term.
No, they really like Mike Bordick more at second base, and if they can keep him over there and get this guy up there within the next 3 years, they're going to be fine.
Jason Wood still waiting the first pitch from Andujar, and looks like a balk. Looks like it hit him. It did
yeah,
hit
I
him.
think it hit him. Yeah, it just grazed his uniform, I think.
That's the kind you don't mind to get hit by, kind that just hits the shirts.
Yeah, Casey Stengel used to give you a suit of clothes every time you got hit in that situation. If you just stand there and get hit in the rib cage.
That was awfully close. I didn't see the shirt get hit there. It was awfully close, but.
The replay showing it, and you heard Jason. He said, "Look, there's paint off my uniform on the ball."
It was awfully close.
So the Stars now with a golden opportunity. They've got runners on at first and second with Damon Mayshore, and Don, Damon's struggling a bit with the bat these days.
Is.
Trying to bunt him over here.
Boy, not a bad play there. If you get that thing down and get the bases loaded and get back to the top of our order. Damon is, Harold, he's in a situation right now where he's thinking a little bit, you know, and it happens to all of us. You really start pressing after a while. You start thinking about what you're doing. You start looking for pitches. When Damon gets all those things out of his mind, he's going to be fine. Just go up there and hit.
They've been striking out a lot this year.
Yes, he has.
22 strikeouts, only 2 walks. as we saw, a very low batting average of only 157. So, as you mentioned, struggling a lot so far this season. Maybe we can break out of that. I know he'd love to break out of it, and he can't.
Yeah, he can. The thing about it, he gets 2 strikes on him very quick these days, and then he starts chasing balls out of the strike zone. I'm going to say within a week he's going to be out of that.
Speaking of Michael Jordan, the outfield playing shallow for Damon Mayshore.
I'd really like to see a ball hit out there. I'd like to see what kind of arm he has. I didn't watch infield practice today, but I understand he has a pretty good arm.
If he can scoop it up. I know against Greenville he tried to run up on a ground ball and it went right under his glove. So if he can scoop it up, maybe we'll test that arm.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, and Mayshore falls behind. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I've seen Michael Jordan in some of the earlier clips of video. Seems like he might be lacking just a little bit on the fundamentals. I noticed in one game he failed to plant the back foot and try to throw the ball to third base. So I'm sure it's one of those carry over some too many jump shots in the NBA.
There you go.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and Mayshore misses again, and the struggles continue for Damon. Out number 2 here in a second.
But going back to Michael Jordan, you know, he hasn't played baseball since he was in high school. If you take a look at some of the statistics for the Barons last year, a lot of the Barons having their career records with the White Sox organization and how they did last year. Michael Jordan's statistics go back to when he was in the 12-year-old and under baseball league over in North Carolina. And so trying to learn those fundamentals, he is still in a learning stage. He hasn't grasped all of the fundamentals and the basics that you have to do in playing baseball.
Hasn't played in 14 years. Kerwin Moore stepping in with a .244 batting average.
And you're talking about a guy that Oakland is high on. This is one of them right here. He can run, he can throw, he can hit. A guy they're really hoping that within 3 years again will be in their outfield.
71 stolen bases in Class A ball. In fact, Kerwin Moore, one of the few to keep up with Michael Jordan in the Southern League chase for that stolen base crown right now. I think Kerwin got one last night. He is at 8, and Jordan has 7 if the numbers are correct. The count even, a ball and a strike. Here's the pitch. Missing. And Kerwin Moore now with a 2-1 count.
Kerwin Moore, Don, being picked up by the Marlins in that Kurt Abbott swap. How is that trade looking? We're here in Huntsville. Everybody's watching that one.
Well, everybody really thinks that the Marlins got the best because Abbott's up there. But I'm going to say in 3 years we're going to get by far the best deal out of that.
Check that swing and he goes.
And refresh our memories, was that just a player-for-player swap there?
Yes, it was. I think there was one other player involved in that thing, but, you know, right away, you got to look at trades long-term, Jamie. You can't look at them the year after they're made. We'll look at that trade in about 3 years and see where it is, and I think Oakland did very well for themselves.
Big pitch here, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. The Stars trying to cash in on a golden opportunity, and Moore cuts on and misses, so the Stars get 2 on, but they strand him. Still, after 2 complete innings, it's the Stars leading 1-0.
First, we will apply your payment to the accrued interest, then to any credit life insurance premiums not included in the principal. Also, the total loan amortized for the duration.
Tired of boring loans? You won't find them at AmSouth. Instead, you'll find exciting deals on everything from car loans to lines of credit, mortgage loans, and credit cards, all to save you money. No boring loans from AmSouth. The relationship people.
Mr. Jones? Mr. Jones?
Country folks really depend on their neighbors because they're not just people next door. They're your friends, people you can count on. At Williams Service, we're country folks too, and with over 40 locations, we've been your neighbor all along. We know that most people are looking for quality gasoline. That's why we sell only the finest quality, clean burning gas at competitive prices. Premium gasoline from Williams Service, a next-door neighbor you can always depend on. Down the road.
Fishermen prefer Tracker boats from Anderson Boats because the Tracker is the best value on water, and Anderson Boats is where you'll find the largest selection in the Tennessee Valley, like Tracker bass boats, family boating fun at very affordable prices, including famous pro and tournament bass boats for the serious fishermen, and Tracker pontoon boats. That's a full-fledged fishing rig at your exclusive North Alabama Tracker dealer, Anderson Boats. 35 years of sales and service. Highway 157 Coleman, 6th Avenue Decatur, and Highway 31 North, Birmingham.
You are watching WHNT TV, home of the exclusive Doppler 19 radar, and Huntsville Stars baseball tonight The good guys, the Huntsville Stars, leading as we head to the top half of the third inning, 1-0. And leading off will be Coleman. Ken Coleman for the Birmingham Barons.
Ken Coleman on the season so far, batting .250. He's one of those infielders that can play just about anywhere, what you call a utility infielder, playing shortstop tonight.
His natural position is second base. There's the chop to third. Up with it, Jason Giambi, and on to Shockey for the 5-3 opening out here in the top half of the third inning.
You know, Harold and Jamie, nothing makes a pitcher happier when you get out there and throw your first pitch fastball and the leadoff man hits that pitch. Let's see what happens in these next 2 or 3 pitches. I guarantee if this hitter hits this one, the next hitter is going to take a pitch. When you can get in and out of there in a 3 or 4 pitch inning, you're doing something.
Joining us live here in the broadcast booth, former Huntsville Star Jimmy Jones, who knows something about, I guess, the behind the home plate real estate down there. Jim, you played back, what, 87, 1988?
Oh, yeah.
Here's the pitch and a strike.
Does that, I guess that would, Jimmy, that would just about give a pitcher another inning. If you can get out in 3 or 4 pitches, probably just about get another inning of work.
Oh, yeah. If a pitcher can get, a starting pitcher can get to the 7th, 8th inning and then go to the bullpen, that makes a manager so happy.
Excuse me, Rogelio Nunez, the Barons catcher, with a few theatrics. He falls behind, no balls and 2 strikes here in the Barons third.
One of a couple of guys playing in the lineup tonight for the Birmingham Barons from the Dominican Republic, along with the pitcher Luis Andujar.
Russ Brock surrendering only a hit so far, but no runs.
Yeah, we've been talking about Michael Jordan. A lot of the folks coming out to see the show of Air Jordan and the Birmingham Barons. But some good baseball being played last night and again tonight. Maybe another close game.
Curtis Shaw, an outstanding night last night. Turned in an A+ night for the Stars bullpen last night, not holding up. Michael Jordan reaching in the 7th inning with that big double down the left field line. Put the Barons ahead to stay. Here's Russ Brock's 2-2 pitch and a ground ball back up the middle. Kent chasing it down, Mark Sobolewski, so the Barons will have a 1-out hit here in the 3rd inning.
What hurt the Barons last night, Harold, they walked a lot. 9 batters altogether walked for the Huntsville Star, the Birmingham Barons, making it on base on 4 balls. 4 of those runners scored. As you're looking at the hit from Nunez, right up the middle, just where you want to get that base hit with nobody on.
Nunez playing a little softball. They say that's where you're supposed to hit the softball. I guess he can play both,
That's
huh?
right.
It's a 1-out hit here in the 3rd inning. That brings up Doug Brady, and he's taking it to the other side of Sobolewski, so the Barons got something going here. Nunez will make the turn at 2nd and hole, so with 1 out, the Barons with runners on at 1st and 2nd.
Not testing the arm from Damon Mayshore out in right field. Nunez stopping right there at 2nd base, not about to try it. Didn't really hit it deep enough, I guess, to try to make it to 3rd.
That'll bring up Kevin Coughlin, center fielder for Birmingham, .231 the batting average. An opportunity to tie up the game here. Stars lead it 1-0. Brock bringing it, and he catches the corner for a strike, getting out in front of Kevin Coughlin.
We've mentioned Russ Brock having a tough time. His ERA is terrific, under 3, but he is winless. Both times, I believe, leaving a game with the lead, and then the bullpen letting it go.
Of course, as Jimmy would tell you, in the Southern League, I would imagine the guys at Tacoma and Oakland are looking more at that earned run average than they are necessarily at the wins and losses.
That's kind of how the Huntsville Stars have been playing all year. They'll play very tight up until about the 7th or 8th inning, and then it gets very close, and then they usually pull away. But what that means is sometimes that starting pitcher will not get the win.
The 1-1 pitch, back up the box, trouble. Filled it at 3rd. That's Snopek on to 1st. Make that Jason Giambi. And the 2nd out here in the 3rd inning for the Barons. But it pushes the runners up to 2nd and 3rd in scoring position.
That does the job for the Birmingham Barons. What they want, 2 guys now in scoring position, trailing 1-0. Take a look at this. He really hits it not deep enough to do anything with it.
An interesting lesson for all you young folks watching tonight. Sometimes don't try to hit it out of the park with runners on. Just make contact and move the runners up. Now it's in the hands of Scott Teddy to take advantage of that. Scott Tedder hitting .264 on the year. He takes outside for a ball.
Right there's a tough situation for Russ to start off with 2 outs and a left-handed hitter up a curveball. Now everybody knows the count's 1-0. He's got to come back with a fastball, and the hitter is going to be sitting on that pitch, hoping to get a pitch he can drive.
And of course, with 2 out, the runners will be moving. Brock meets the test and comes in with a strike to even the count up at a ball and a strike.
He kind of took a little bit off that pitch, Jimmy.
Jamie, that looked more like a batting practice fastball, what they call it.
Misses with a 2-1 pitch.
Not his #1 stuff.
No, sometimes you can get away with that in that certain situation because the hitter is locked in.
He just froze. It looked as though he just couldn't move on that pitch.
Brock with a 2-1 pitch, and he misses outside. The count runs to 3 balls and 1 strike.
Well, usually when you're ahead in the count as a hitter, you're always taught to lock in if it's a pitch you can handle. If you can't, take it.
One thing for sure, Russ Brock doesn't want to lose him here. That would bring up the cleanup man with the sacks full in Mike Robertson, but he does just that. Ball 4 outside, so the sacks are full. For the Barons' #4 hitter, Mike Robertson, tonight, playing left field and considered to be one of the Barons' top prospects. Supposedly should have been in AAA this year, but again, got caught up in those numbers.
That's one of the problems that Russ Brock has had so far this year, Harold. He's walked, that was the 12th batter he has walked on the year, only 15 strikeouts. Not the kind of ratio that you want from one of your starting pitchers. You like to see that strikeout to walk ratio a little bit better than that. But that's one of the problems, and he's in trouble right here. Bases loaded with the cleanup man up.
Molina going to the mound, making sure they're not going to be crossed on the signals. A wild pitch would tie the ball game up here. Puts a little more pressure on your catchers, doesn't it, Jimmy, with that sack full?
Yeah, it does. You got to try and get ahead of this hitter, and he's a cleanup man, and you've got to feed him a pitch that you can get ahead on.
He's not at this point. Grounder down to third. Giambi will fumble. That will tie up the game. No play anywhere. Giambi just simply got eaten up on the shot down the third. That's why they call it the hot box. Jason Giambi unable to come up with a play, as you'll see here. Giambi down on one knee, and it looked like the ball played him instead of him playing the ball.
That's the kind of thing that you want to stay away from. He got in front of the ball pretty well, but took just a bounce right up into him, and as you said, Harold, just played him. And we'll see an error awarded to Giambi.
It ties the ball game up at 1 apiece here in the third. And we'll bring up the #5 hitter, Chris Snopek.
Your Ole Miss boy.
1-0.
Snopek not having a tremendous year, especially in the field. He had 4 errors in one game, but coming into the night batting .307 for the Barons. So he's got a good stick, 15 RBIs. Got a chance now to get in a couple of more.
And we'll take a gander at the pitch on the inside corner. We'll even the count up at a ball and a strike. Big inning for the Barons right here. Bases loaded, 2 outs.
It seems like Russ is staying around the plate, which is making the umpire's job a little easier.
Here's the pitch, skies it to left center. With the star speed out there, no problems. Young capping under it and putting the squeeze on for out #3. So the Barons Thunder, they have a little lightning, but only 1 run. So as we head to the bottom half of the third inning, it's all tied at 1 apiece here at Joe Davis Stadium.
Now, held over, a coast-to-coast savings event. It's the National Jeep Sale, still on at your Jeep and Eagle dealer, where you can buy or lease Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo at special savings. Get $300 cash back when you buy or lease Jeep Wrangler. Or get special savings when you buy or lease Cherokee Sport with no charge air. So hurry in today, because while our vehicles know no limits, our sales do.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
I see a lot of people my age who aren't ready for sex. I tell them to put it off until they know more. Because having sex can cause some problems, like getting HIV. It's okay to wait. It's a choice you can live with and feel good about. People out there gotta understand. That's why I'll go anywhere to talk about preventing the spread of HIV and other STDs. Even into your living room.
Good job, you passed your test.
Thanks, I really appreciate it. Alabama law drives home this message to young people aged 15 to 19. With very few exceptions, you must stay in school to apply for your Alabama driver's license or keep your current license. Stay in school. It's the smart thing to do.
Don't throw away the keys to your future. Stay in school. A message from the Alabama Department of Education's Driver Education Program and the Department of Public Safety.
Bottom half of the third inning, we stand tied at 1. The Stars will be sending batters 2, 3, and 4 to the plate, leading off with Mark Soboleski, who the last time was hit by a pitch and came on around, and with it a Southern League record for the 13th straight game. He scored a run. Soboleski, one of those guys, Jimmy Jones, you like to have on a team. He is a gritty type ball player.
You know, when you're a manager, you'd like to have 9 or 10 of him.
And especially leading off an inning, he's the kind of guy that can get on base, and as he showed us last time up, he can get on in a number of different ways.
Yeah, like getting hit in the head with a helmet. Shows that he's got some courage. He's back for another round of it.
I tell you, he did a good job right there in taking the first pitch curveball.
There's the bunt. Soboleski trying to get on, got a chance to beat it, but no. Stepping on there, Troy Fryman a couple of steps ahead. So out number 1. That shows you the variety right there. Hitting the head the last time and trying to get on with a bunt this time to lead off the Stars half of the third inning.
Not the kind of bunt that you're ever going to get on base. You want to try to get that. If you're going to try to go to the first base side of the infield with a bunt, you need to hit it in sort of that no man's land where the pitcher and the first baseman both are wondering who's going to cover it.
Right. You want, in actuality, you want the second baseman to field that ball with the pitcher and the first baseman both breaking in. Now you have nobody at first base, and you can almost jog to first for a single. But he tried, and that's how you learn.
And that brings up Jason Giambi. He struck out the last time, this time making a bid and giving some more business down at first base. Fryman on the flip to Andujar for out number 2 here in the third.
Earlier in the season, Steve Sachs, playing for the Birmingham Barons in a rehab assignment for the White Sox. He was hitting pretty well, over 300 for the Barons, but then the Chicago White Sox called him up and then released him. And so if it weren't for Michael Jordan, you'd probably have several other guys on the Birmingham Barons squad to really draw some folks out to the ballpark.
And the replay showing once again a busy Fryman down at first base for the Barons. That brings up Ernie Young, who the last time had that big RBI single to bring home Soboleski. Batting .368. Here's the pitch. That's got a chance to drop in if it stays fair. It does, into the corner. That's going to keep the Michael Jordan show busy down there, as Ernie Young will come into second with a stand-up double with 2 outs here in the Stars half of the third.
He put that one right there for Michael Jordan in the corner. Michael having a little bit of trouble picking that ball up.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of shade out there in that corner. He looked like he got it in fairly well to his relay man. Of course, the second baseman and the shortstop are set up to go to third base when a ball like that goes in the corner.
And you can see the grin on Ernie Young's face. He said, "Michael, take that." He's down there with 2 outs, a chance for the Stars to take the lead here. He's in scoring position with Scott Shockey up. 191 hitter. The Stars trying to strike with 2 outs here in the third. Andujar already has thrown a lot of pitches tonight. A look to second. The pitch. Cut on, chopped to third, chopped to short, make it. And a bobble. The Barons unable to get communication between Ken Coleman and Chris Snopek. So the Stars will have runners on the corner at first and third. And there is a classic case of the utility man playing a little bit out of position. Coleman by trade, a second baseman tonight, playing shortstop for the Barons.
Right. And watch Ernie Young here. He does a great job getting out of the way so he doesn't get hit by the ball. And I think that may have had a little bit to do with the infield error.
Right. The third baseman's job is to go get it when the runner from second is coming to third. He had to stop, so the only person who had to play was the shortstop.
And of course, with 2 outs, Ernie Young running normally with less than 2 outs, he would probably stay at second. The Stars breathing still here in the third. Izzy Molina up with a chance to break him on top. .214 the batting average coming to the plate.
If Ernie is hit by that ball, this inning is over.
Yeah.
And it's a tough inning because you've got another good batter at the plate and Ernie Young on third base. So a big break for the Stars, Ernie being able to leapfrog over that baseball.
Molina in the hole trying to cash in. 0-2. Here's where Andujar likes to come with a change. To the belt. A look. And the 0-2 pitch. Molina takes a ball.
Jimmy, what about a double steal in this situation? You got a runner on first, runner on third. You got 2 outs.
You know, it wouldn't be a bad situation. The count's 1-2, meaning 1 ball and 2 strikes, and you know, you can still send the guy at first, and still, even if he gets thrown out in that situation, you got Izzy coming up with nobody out to start off the 4th inning.
Gary Jones aggressive, but he hasn't done it yet. Here's the pitch, the 1-2 pitch downstairs, running on the play. Now the delayed steal. They're trying to get a steal run here, and he is out of there. On the delayed steal is a Molina freezing in his tracks, and the Stars with Ernie Young thrown out of the plate. So a chance to break out on top. Not going here, as you see Ernie Young coming in and playing a little football for out number 3 here in the 3rd inning. So we head to the top half of the 4th inning with a score all tied at 1 apiece.
This month at Classic Olds Cadillac Jeep Eagle, we're having our annual spring cleaning sale.
With bargains like this, a 1994 Oldsmobile Delta 88 Royale, loaded for only $17,995, or a 1994 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme with leather and power seats for only $14,995.
Sweep up the savings at Classic, where we put the fun back into buying a car.
Classic Olds Cadillac Jeep Eagle, Highway 31 North, Coleman.
We're WHNT TV 19, where local news comes first. WHNT invites the Tennessee Valley to our open house, Sunday, May 1st from noon to 4. Come out and meet the new Center 19 news team, experience our backyard weather, and meet Mr. Food, WHNT's favorite chef. Purchase one of these Mr. Food cookbooks and help MDA. We'll have balloons for the kids and magic by illusionist Jeremy Bass. Make your plans to come to WHNT's open house Sunday, May 1st from noon to 4.
The Stars not going by the book. There they go on the delayed steal, and Ernie Young breaking from 3rd. He's out. Scott Shockey. Jimmy Young, how would you grade that by chance on that one? It looked like Scott kind of stopped there and may not have given Ernie Young enough time to get down the base.
Well, what he needs to do is draw the throw and get in a run down and have the middle infielder, the shortstop, chase him down so the guy on 3rd can score. But he didn't do it. He just stopped.
And as it is, the Stars with not a chance to score there, so it stays tied at 1 apiece, and the Barons out number 1 here in the 4th inning, and that brings up number 45, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan striking out the last time, and every time it seems they start him out inside again, this time for a strike like the first time up.
Michael Jordan really struggling in spring training. 3 for 20 when he was playing for the White Sox, and they sent him down to minor league, 4 for 26. A lot of people criticizing the White Sox. Sports Illustrated saying they're embarrassing baseball. I think they've got a little egg on their face now with Jordan batting 300, just under.
And the 0-1 pitch goes to 0-2.
Michael's just getting a little fooled on the breaking pitch. He just needs to get in there and hit that ball up the middle to the right side.
Do you develop, I would guess that if you're learning the game when you're 30 years old, you're not going to develop many bad habits as a hitter.
No. As you notice, watch his front shoulder. When it starts to come out, that's where he's pulling off. That's what I'm talking about, getting fooled.
He'll need all of his skills here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Russ Brock trying to chase him again. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Chop back up the box. We're going to see that speed. Jason Wood, can he get him? Yes. Out number 2. And there are those long legs motoring down to first base.
He can sure pick them up and put them back down. Those big, long, lanky legs. And, you know, Michael playing in the NBA, he didn't have a problem getting in shape at all. Because in baseball, he's not running near as often as he did in a basketball game. But, boy, he can really hustle down the line, leading one of the leaders in the Southern League in stolen bases so far this year at 7.
Well, you also got to figure, too, he got tied up with an inside fastball, and his feet got tied up, and he still got down the line fairly quickly.
Has to put a little extra pressure on those infielders, knowing they've got the speed of Jordan running the bases.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it gives everybody a little bit more of a hurry-up defensive.
Ken Coleman up for the Barons, takes upstairs. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. 2 outs here in the 4th inning. We're tied at 1. Good ball game so far. Last night, the Stars breaking out on top 4-0 before seeing the Barons come back and win it by the count of 9-4. And Russ Brock continues to find the plate. Count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Stars one of those teams that the fans love. They're always in the game late in the game. They've won several in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
Check swing foul, back and out of play. Count will hold at 1-2.
And they're one of the teams that's always fun to watch. You know, they say you never know what's going to happen in baseball. It's never over till it's over. And with the Huntsville Stars, they've really proven that. They've been down in the bottom half of the 9th inning many times so far this year, and they've been able to pull them out.
And that's why they're the best in the Southern League West coming into tonight. And there's another reason. Russ Brock with yet another strikeout. So the Barons go 1, 2, 3 here into the 4th. We head to the bottom half. The game's still tied at 1.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Olive Garden.
Just like you, Williams Service is proud to call North Alabama home. Williams Service and the local operators of Williams Service Stations supply quality gasoline at the lowest possible prices to their communities across North Alabama. Now, with 50 locations and continuing to grow, Williams Service thanks you for your support. Williams Service promises to continue to be a good friend close by you can count on. Williams Service, quality gasoline, low prices, friendly people, and just like you, at home in North Alabama.
First, we will apply your payment to the accrued interest, then to any credit life insurance premiums not included in the principal. Also, the total loan amortized for the duration.
Tired of boring loans? You won't find them at AmSouth. Instead, you'll find exciting deals on everything from car loans to lines of credit, mortgage loans, and credit cards, all to save you money. No boring loans from AmSouth. The relationship people.
Mr. Jones? Mr. Jones?
Good job. You passed your test.
Thanks. I really appreciate it.
Alabama law drives home this message to young people aged 15 to 19. With very few exceptions, you must stay in school to apply for your Alabama driver's license or keep your current license. Stay in school. It's the smart thing to do.
Don't throw away the keys to your future. Stay in school. A message from the Alabama Department of Education's Driver Education Program and the Department of Public Safety.
Errol Bugg and Jamie Tucker. And Jamie, looks like they've got a game we can play here at Joe Davis Stadium going on. Spend the bat time.
Yeah, it's one of the great things about minor league baseball. A lot of the things going on between innings, and that's one of the fan favorites here at Joe D.
And speaking of great, Izzy Molina likes what happened last time from an individual standpoint. Had a 1-2 count before he got out of it. The player thrown out the plate, and now he gets a new count. Starting out with a fresh slate and falls behind. No balls and 1 strike. I say he liked what happened. He obviously didn't like his teammate being thrown out, but he likes the chance to kind of redeem himself and being down in the count 1-2.
Is he feeling a lot better tonight, Harold? The shoulder problem been bothering him earlier this week and missed several games. But he told me tonight that he wished he could have played last night. He was really anxious to get back into the lineup for the Stars. But they felt that he would just be better off tonight, playing tonight.
Batting .214, but Jimmy, you know and I know that batting average is not always what they look at. They like a guy who can keep the ball down in the dirt, block it, and be a kind of a quarterback with those young pitchers.
Well, as a catcher, you've got to be a team leader and keep the ball in front of you and throw guys out. If you have to go to the mound and scream and holler at a pitcher or baby a pitcher, you've got to do it.
Of course, you never did that, right?
Oh, no.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Popped up in foul territory, and it's Nunez calling him off for out number 1 here in the Stars half of the 4th inning.
You know, I can see why Oakland's pretty high on Izzy. He seems like he receives the ball well. I've been watching his throws down in between innings, and he's got a good swing. He just got a little tied up on that pitch, but, you know, I can see why. He looks like everything is all in motion.
You know, I was talking with some of the guys down at the clubhouse about Chris Hart, and they said, if I were the opposing catcher, the last person that I would like to see coming around third base would be Chris Hart. They want to nickname him Bulldozer for some reason. Here's the pitch. It misses inside for a ball.
Chris Hart playing at Auburn and played with a Chicago White Sox down at Auburn. Frank Thomas playing first base when Chris played down on the Plains.
Someone said he's got some pretty good numbers these days.
Yeah, that's what we hear.
What's his nickname? The Big Hurt or something?
The Big Hurt.
Frank playing pretty good baseball. Usually April is one of his slowest months, but boy, he's really getting off to a good start this year. He's going to be dangerous in August.
Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Andujar with a delivery inside for a ball, and the count will go 2-1.
You know, it's real hard to believe that Andujar is 0-3 with almost a 6 ERA. He's been around the plate all night.
Has good control, good fastball, throws a lot of strikes.
Came into the inning throwing just about half of his assignment tonight, somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 and 115. He's already thrown over 50 now, approaching 60.
This is unlike his previous starts, though. I understand that he really hasn't been on his game when he's played before for the Birmingham Barons and got the starts. It's really been shelled.
He's kept the Barons in it to this point. It couldn't be more tied. 1-3-1 for the Stars, 1-3-1 for the Barons.
You know, going back to last inning, we were talking about how the Stars have been in the game to the end. That goes on good pitching and good defense and getting timely hitting.
And you saw there part of a good crowd seeing a good game right here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Hart cuts on and misses at the breaking pitch. And he'll take a seat without number 2 here in the home half of the 4th inning.
Another strikeout for Andujar. Going into tonight's game, he had 25 strikeouts in just 19 innings. So he's throwing some heat. And as we said before, not getting a lot of walks earned on him. Just had some bad luck. Just been getting hit pretty hard with a nearly 6 ERA, but he's playing unlike that tonight.
And there you see Jason Wood stepping in, a .250 hitter, the shortstop for the Huntsville Stars. Jimmy, you get a chance to make it out to the ballpark much? You get to see these young guys who, of course, like you one time, had a hope of making it to the big show.
Not very often. Through my work and living all the way out in Owens Crossroads, it's real hard for me to get here. And I sure do appreciate the invite tonight.
And the mayor of Owens Crossroads says thank you for the plug.
I'm running for that.
You heard it first. You're on WHNT. Jason Wood with the 0-2 pitch, and he also takes a whiff. So Andujar with an impressive 4th inning here. Nothing across, and matter of fact, it's time to go to class. Are you ready, fellows? Here we go with 101. Little trivia time now. Former Stars manager Casey Parsons is a distant relative of what Hall of Famer? Jimmy, you don't count. You're a genius here. We'll try to figure it out and have the answer for you right after this.
Hi, I'm Dave with D&D Engines. We're building a new all-indoors engine and transmission warehouse. One of the first of its kind with large inventory, low prices, and better quality. We're installing an engine and transmission test machine that will guarantee that what you buy will work the first time. So come on down and help us blow out the old way with a bang. We're selling out 8 years of inventory to start off all new just for you. All inventory must go. Dealers welcome, quantity price breaks. D&D Engines, Hazel Green.
Travelog, Alabama. Destination, DeSoto State Park Resort. Located in the northeast corner of Alabama, DeSoto features beautiful Little River Canyon, DeSoto Falls, rustic cabins and chalets, a resort lodge and restaurant, hiking trails, and plenty of improved campsites. See Mother Nature at her finest in DeSoto State Park Resort. For reservations or information, call 1-800-ALAPARK and watch Travelog Alabama for more great getaway ideas.
Rainforests occupy only 2% of the Earth's surface, yet these lush forests support over half our planet's wild plants, wildlife, and trees. When these rainforests go, gone forever are the rare plants, animals, and cultures that call them home. That's why the senseless destruction must stop. Right now, you can join the National Arbor Day Foundation and support rainforest rescue to help stop the destruction. You better call now.
And the answer is, after the question, former Stars manager Casey Parsons is a distant relative of what former Hall of Famer or a Hall of Famer? The answer, you're right, Jamie, you get all of them. Charlie Gehringer, second baseman for the Tigers back in 1924. You know, they tell me that was the year that WHNT's Jerry Hayes was born. I don't know whether to believe that or not. But we can believe that the Stars are off and rolling here in the 5th, out number 1. And Russ Brock continues to breeze along here.
Both pitchers having low pitch counts. through these last several innings. That's really going to help because both managers, as you mentioned earlier, Jimmy, both managers really want to see these starting pitchers come up to about the 8th inning. Last night, the Stars, Curtis Shaw doing the job early, and then the bullpen really letting him down.
And you have to wonder whether or not this big crowd tonight would have something to do with that. Maybe early on, a few jitters. One of the biggest crowds, in matter of fact, the biggest crowd to ever turn out here at Joe Davis.
Sure, it gets your adrenaline going, but you know, remember that we probably started around game time in the 80s and the humidity about 95.
And on the bunt attempt, looks like it's got a shot at making it in, and yes, it will. Birmingham Barons with Doug Brady reaching here on the bunt with 1 out in the 5th inning.
That ball just a little bit further to the second base side than earlier that we saw for the Huntsville Stars trying to get on with a base hit, Sobolewski. But this is really where you want to hit the ball, Jimmy.
Right. If you see in the monitor coming across, watch Scott Shockey go after that ball. And the second baseman's out of play. The only one who can make it is a first baseman with an underhand pitch to the pitcher. At that time, the runner beats him there.
Brady just flat out ran him off the mound. That's one of those plays that, in the A's case and the Stars case out in Arizona, you work on in spring training.
Oh, I remember being in spring training. I thought I'd just tape record. Get over there.
Kevin Coughlin, 250 hitter. Brady obviously with good speed. You saw it on the bunt. Good opportunity to hit and run here, I would imagine, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Got the thing favoring the Barons. Lefty versus righty. Brock with a pitch and a chop through the hole. Cut off Sobolewski. He'll take the play at first for out number 2, obviously. Hit too far to his left for a double play.
No chance there for a double play. That's going to get a runner in scoring position with 2 out for the Birmingham Barons. All tied up. Need to get that run in, but I tell you, the way Russ Brock has been pitching tonight, not giving up too many hits.
If you notice the Stars defensively, they are moving around a little more in positioning of their players, and they're really going to their game plan on pitching their hitters.
The wind starting to whip up. Wrappers blowing out in the left field area.
Huntsville Stars a pretty good defensive team this year. Wouldn't you agree, Jimmy? Only 25 errors so far this year. That does sound like an awful lot.
Well, you also have to realize, you know, Huntsville and Birmingham have probably one of the nicest fields in all of minor leagues. When you go to some of the other ballparks, it could get a little shaky out there.
Sure, I bet it can.
And the scouting report on the Stars is that, in effect, they have 3 center fielders, meaning they got guys who can close the gap in a hurry on those tweeners. So not a lot of extra bases with that outfield. You're taking a look at Doug Brady on at second with 2 outs here in the Barons half of the 5th inning. The 3-0 pitch. It's a strike, and the count goes to 3-1.
You know, I guess it's obvious to me that Huntsville doesn't think that this guy can pull the ball because they're throwing him on the outer third of the park and playing him straight up.
Carolyn Moore extremely shallow in center field, and he takes it back up that way. Wood will cut it off, though, and throw him out. You hit it, Jimmy, for out number 3 here in the 5th inning. So we head to the bottom half of the score, still tied at 1.
April 22nd, 1993, the state in turmoil. Jim Folsom takes the oath of office. He moves quickly to restore our faith, and a new era begins. Folsom opens the Capitol doors to the public and appoints the most diverse cabinet in Alabama history. He sells the state jet, saving millions. And with quiet pride, Folsom brings Mercedes-Benz to Alabama. Folks knew things were looking up. Jim Folsom, moving Alabama forward.
Anderson Boats says, this year make every fishing trip an adventure with the new 1994 Astro boat. We have the largest selection of Astro boats in North Alabama at the right price and right combination you want. For fishing, skiing, or just family fun and relaxation, nothing compares to the superior craftsmanship of the Astro. From Anderson Boats, your exclusive North Alabama Astro dealer with 35 years of service and sales. Highway 157 Coleman, 6th Avenue Decatur, and Highway 31 North, Birmingham.
Listen in the scene, cause it's written in the book. Painting on the beam, cause I'm digging on the look. I'm script, like a log in the woods. I'm a gift that you get and you
Lung disease and other breathing problems are the leading cause of death in infants. But thanks to the American Lung Association's efforts in research and education, more kids are able to grow up to become what they were always meant to be, a real handful. Help us fight lung disease and air pollution. Call 1-800-LUNG-USA, because when you can't breathe, nothing else matters.
No rain here at Joe Davis Stadium tonight, but things still a little wet down the third baseline. Balloon bat night at the stadium, Jamie and Jerry.
Can't miss one of those. I think I could hit one of those water balloons.
Leading off is Damon Mayshore. Jimmy, this is one of those guys that you got to feel for. He's struggling of late. His batting average has dipped below 200. You've got to feel for a guy like this. You know he's trying. He just can't seem to get it going.
Well, he looks like he's got a pretty good approach to the ball. And I tell you, I've been in that situation where, you know, I've gone 2 or 3 months thinking that I had never got a hit. But those, and whoever says that they all equal out, I don't believe whatsoever.
Falling behind on the count here in the 5th inning, 0-1. Here's the pitch, and downstairs, but he goes fishing and misses. The count goes to 1-2.
I guess, Jimmy, you get in those ruts, and maybe you start trying too hard to break out of it. And you maybe start thinking a little bit too much about trying to hit. And a lot of it is probably not just thinking about hitting, but just doing it.
I tell you what, Harold and Jamie, that's exactly what he needed to do right there, is he needs to start thinking about hitting the ball up the middle to the other way, or even drag bunting. Drag bunting and hitting the ball in those directions get you out of long season slumps, and it looks like he's on a start.
And if you're keeping score at home, Doug Brady to Troy Fryman, 4-3 for out number 1 here in the 5th inning.
We've already heard a record crowd tonight, about 13,000 fans on hand. Of course, they're here to see Michael Jordan, but Don Mincher and the rest of the Huntsville Stars organization hopes some of these people who've never been here before will come back after seeing the facility here and the team.
A lot of folks may not know it, but this is the best team in the Southern League West right now. That's when you get down to the numbers. So exciting baseball, and they've already proven it tonight. Gary Jones doesn't always go by the book, as he sent Ernie Young earlier from third base and was thrown out.
Nor do a lot of these fans realize that Huntsville, again, is one of the better parks in all of minor league baseball.
And you should know, my friend. You've been to all of them.
I've been to every one.
Cut out and foul. The count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I guess these two clubs, both the Hoover Met down in Birmingham is an excellent facility. That's one reason we understand that Michael Jordan was sent to the Birmingham organization, because of the facilities.
Andujar working and gets the strikeout on Kerwin Moore here in the 5th inning. A big strikeout. Moore, he gets on. That's a lot of speed. It'll bring up Mark Sobolewski.
I'd imagine so. Birmingham, I was there when they first opened that field, and I tell you, when I walked into the clubhouse, it was gigantic. You could have took batting practice in there.
It, like Joe Davis, has been the scene of a lot of nights to remember. Of course, Bo Jackson rehab there. Sobolewski trying to get on here with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Takes inside for a ball.
Take a look at these two organizations. Both of them have been very strong throughout the years. Huntsville winning several Southern League championships in the 80s, Birmingham in the 90s. Both teams really have a lot of respect for each other, knowing Birmingham, of course, winning the Southern League championship last year. This is a new group with Birmingham. Most of the guys coming from Sarasota from last year, playing this year in Birmingham.
Well, you've got to learn sooner or later, and they got to find out what they can do as they move up the, I would call it, elevator.
And the elevator has been very good here. A lot of folks may recall that the Huntsville Stars have produced back-to-back Rookies of the Year in the American League, and Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, and Walt Weiss, the name we mentioned earlier. So some outstanding talent to come through this organization. Sobolewski trying to be one of those, and the numbers bear it out. 329, the 2-1 pitch, showing a good eye there. He's out in front of the count, 3 balls and a strike.
He's got a very soft approach to the ball. Meaning soft, there's not a whole lot of movement. It's just a short step. It's graceful.
Here's the 3-1 pitch downstairs, and Sobolewski will take a ticket to first and bring up Jason Giambi, the Stars' number 3 hitter.
Seen Sobolewski get hit by a pitch to get on base this inning. Gets on with a walk. Very patient hitter is Sobolewski. And a good hitter, too, batting over 300 for the Huntsville Stars. And as we've been talking about all night, he's one of those guys you said earlier, Jimmy, you'd like to have 9 or 10 of those kind of guys.
Exactly. I mean, a guy who can get on base, you can win ball games.
Giambi trying to give this big crowd some good news tonight here along with Russ Brock. Here's the first offering from Andujar. He misses outside again, a ball. Jimmy, could Andujar be tiring a bit here? He walked Sobolewski, and he's falling behind here.
Well, that looked like he started a left-handed hitter off with a changeup, and I don't really understand that. I mean, he wants to get ahead of him.
Andujar with a look to first. Sobolewski not running. Here's the pitch. Finds the corner that time to even up the count, and a ball and a strike.
Giambi is used to these lights and the media and everything. Giambi played for the 92 Olympic team for the U.S., also played on the 91 Pan Am team, so he's used to a lot of the attention following a baseball club around, but nothing like he's seen so far in the last couple of nights with Birmingham.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there. On that last pitch, you can see, I believe the catcher for Birmingham got that pitch for him on just the way he received the ball.
The umpire gave it to him. He set up outside, and he hit his target. Looks like they're shading him inside this time. Andujar with a pitch. Comes back outside and low. Time looks like it had been called. So the count will hold, and a ball and a strike with 2 outs here in the 5th inning in a tied game. If you're just joining us, a good night on the field and in the sky. Great weather out here tonight, guys.
I'm really surprised the first baseman is holding the runner on. He should be playing behind him a little bit.
Produces a big hole on the right side for a left-handed hitter.
That's right. He should be almost in his hip pocket behind him, because if he goes, he's going to get second. If he hits a ball in that gap, and now you're going to have first and third, and he's the potential winning run at first.
And about the only thing it does is perhaps cut down the chances for an extra base hit playing on the bag, but still one in the corner, and we're going to see what Michael Jordan can do, huh?
That's right. A lot of fans hoping that he does kind of hold him on and leaves that hole there. Michael Jordan fielding 1 ball so far tonight, kind of had a little bit of trouble in the corner there. Resulted in a double, I believe.
Yeah.
Andujar trying to pitch him outside, though, to take that pull away from him. All the deuces wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to throw the first.
You know, have you ever heard that cliche, nobody hits on 2s, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs?
They fell off about 700.
The only one I ever saw hit on 2s was Terry Pendleton when we were in college.
Oh, now there's a name that folks may remember, huh?
Oh, yeah,
Here's
Fresno
the pitch.
State.
Back up the middle. It's going to get through, and for an infield hit.
And what do you know?
Son of a gun.
How about that?
It was glove, but no play.
Terry Pendleton and Jason.
Doug Brady.
He's in good company.
Doug Brady able to get a glove on it, but can't do anything with it but put it in his hip pocket. So with 2 outs, the Stars with 2 on.
If Jason's going to continue to do that, Terry Pendleton, he's going to have a great career.
I think he likes you too now, along with the mayor of Owens Crossroads, Jimmy. Had to bring up Ernie Young. That's the man you want up there, the cleanup man. He fouls it off and falls behind. No balls and 1 strike.
A lot of the fans really liking Ernie Young, of course, because he hits the long ball. Several home runs so far this year, 4 leading the Southern League. And he's become a fan favorite and also a favorite of the Oakland Athletics organization. They say that he may be the first person called up from Huntsville to Tacoma.
He's the smartest man on the team. He's a Chicago native. He spent his winter playing ball in Hawaii.
Tough assignment there, Ernie.
Yeah, smart guy.
I was talking to Ernie before the game, talking about outfield and when Michael Jordan is up to bat. And he says you see all the flashes. It's difficult to pick up the ball as an outfielder when you see so many camera flashes going off just at the time that Michael Jordan is swinging the bat.
The 0-1 pitch, and Ernie trying to get it through the hole, but this time cut off by Coleman. The flip to Brady, and that's out number 3. So the Stars threatened here in the 5th, but can't come up with any runs. So we played 5 full innings at Joe Davis Stadium with a score still tied at 1.
Country folks really depend on their neighbors because they're not just people next door. They're your friends, people you can count on. At Williams Service, we're country folks too, and with over 40 locations, we've been your neighbor all along. We know that most people are looking for quality gasoline. That's why we sell only the finest quality, clean burning gas at competitive prices. Premium gasoline from Williams Service, a next-door neighbor you can always depend on. Down the road.
Welcome to the Mazda Exceptional Sales Event.
Get exceptional deals on a tough Mazda truck, available with the most powerful V6 of any import truck, backed by one of the best basic warranties in its class. And now get $750 cash back from Mazda on all B2300 trucks. But hurry, deals like this won't last long.
See your Mazda dealer today.
At your Northern Alabama Mazda dealer now.
Yes, Dudley?
I'm starving. Can we have a snack, Mom?
Here's your snack, kids. Cheese, fruits, and I chopped up some carrot sticks.
Thanks.
What? No candy? No chewy gooey tire bars? Eating too many snacks can cause tooth decay. But if you need a snack between meals, choose nutritious foods like fruits, vegetables, or cheese.
I'm proud of these 242 teeth. That's why I'm eating nutritious food.
That's right. Eat up, kids.
Yay!
A tasty treat at Joe Davis Stadium tonight. You're looking at history. The biggest crowd ever to watch a baseball game in Huntsville. And our very own WHNT's Steve Johnson right in the middle of it. Steve, are you down there with Michael Jordan or what? That uniform looks familiar.
But this is Michael Jordan. Believe it. Show me. Let me see your driver's license. This is Michael Burnett Jordan. I've been asked about 30 times for autographs from Michael Jordan. Can I get you to sign some stuff?
Sure.
I mean, I won't be lying. It'll be the truth.
No, you won't. What do you need?
Okay. You get kidded much about this?
Yes, every day. Every day. Someone comes up and says something stupid.
Okay. Johnson High student. Hey, he's having a good time. Michael Jordan.
Wow. Does he take cash or does he take credit cards?
That's great. That's great. I know he'd like to get in on the marketing ability of the real Michael Jordan.
And the real Michael Jordan trying to get up here in the Barons half of the sixth inning. We're tied at 1 as we get things moving here.
Someone gets on. Michael Jordan probably getting an at-bat this inning.
Mike Robertson at bat right now, the left fielder tonight. Considered to be the Barons' top prospect. And he gets out in front of the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Strong showing from Russ Brock tonight. Surrendering only 4 hits to date. Robertson skies one down the right field line, bending into the stands and foul. The count will go to 2-1.
And I'll bet you before it's all over with, that ball, even though it was not hit by Michael Jordan, the person who catches it will say, this was the one that Michael hit.
You've been to Lake Guntersville, huh, and seen all those fishing tails over there. Robertson 0 for 1. Grounded out in the first, reached on a Giambi era. This time, fly ball, short right field, backing out the second, Sacker Sobolewski, and it drops behind him.
That's got to be the right fielder's call. He had a bad jump on it, but still, it's easier for him to come in and get to the ball than it is for the second baseman. Look at how far he is going to get that ball.
And that means Damon Mayshore there right behind him. Should have called him off, didn't. The ball drops. No harm, no foul. The count will go 2 balls and 1 strike.
But, you know, this is a good experience for him when you got 13,000 people screaming in the stands. They can't hear each other. And as they go up and get more and more people in the stands, they're going to learn to do their little hand signal.
Can you imagine what it would be like at Mile High Stadium? What, 70 or so thousand folks out there? Here's the pitch.
Speaking of Mile High Stadium, my last year in Denver, we played there in July 4th.
Don't tell me.
73,000 people.
And we're talking minor league at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you know why they are major league. Here's the pitch. Foul back into the screen.
Well, how did that affect you as the catcher and as the whole team, the rest of the team, playing in front of that many people when you weren't used to it?
Well, Mile High is just a different type of stadium. The bleachers in left field come in, and you've got everybody surrounding you. And as a catcher, it's very hard to pick the ball up because you've got all the white shirts in center field.
1 back our way. The count will hold at 3-2. You know, they're building a new stadium out in Denver. It's going to be a bit smaller than the one they've got now. They had such good numbers last year. Originally, it was supposed to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 50. I think they've added up to maybe 5 or so thousand, so around 50 to 55,000 in the new stadium. It's going to be interesting to see how the fans are going to respond to that. Fouled off to the right again. The count will hold at 3-2.
Now we're seeing Russ Brock getting a little tired, Jimmy. He's given up a couple of foul balls down to the right, and that one was hit pretty hard.
Yeah, that was a off-speed pitch, which, you know, whenever you have a left-handed hitter up, if that off-speed pitch goes inside, he's going to hook it a long way foul.
Robertson trying to get the Barons started here in the 6th inning. Fouls that one back to the screen. One 4-1 for the Stars, 1 4-1 for the Barons. Brock with a 3-2 pitch on the left side. That's Jason Wood in the hole, puts a glove on it, but can't come up with it. It'll be an infield hit for Mike Robertson.
Let's see if Birmingham, Terry Francona, who's the manager, tries to sacrifice fly this guy over. Sacrifice bunt him over.
Be a good opportunity.
That'll be Chris Snopek. He can handle the bat.
You know, the way both pitchers are throwing, 1 run could win this ball game.
We saw Huntsville do it last night in the 1st inning. Kerwin Moore getting on, then bunt over, a single to third, and then another single that scored him. And like you said, 1 run is like 10 in some of these games because 1 run can decide it. So a good opportunity with nobody out. Good opportunity to bunt this guy over and get him in scoring position.
Watch Russ. He'll probably throw over a couple times to first to see what the hands do of the hitter. Well, he didn't do it.
And the ball will get away from Molina, and that will take care of the bunt. The Barons with a cheap trick it down to second base. And that will be a pass ball on Izzy Molina. Mike Robertson now in scoring position with nobody out here into the Barons half of the 6th inning.
Boy, a deja vu from last night. Garrett Beard having trouble behind the plate last night for the Stars. Several pass balls, and that's what happened right there with Izzy Molina, and takes the bunt right out of it. Well, it's going to bunt him over to
third base, and that will mean a sac fly will be in effect as they get their man at first base. Giambi jumping on it and getting the first out. That's the sure out, and that will move Robertson up into scoring position with 1 out, of course. An outstanding play because that means a sac fly now, and the Barons break out on top.
Since a runner got on, that's going to bring Michael Jordan up. And here's the all-important bunt to get the runner over to third base with just 1 out now. That's the first out. Almost beat the relay over to first base. But for what fans came to see tonight, let's be honest about it, Michael Jordan on deck now for the Birmingham Barons. And if you see some flashes from the stands, those are cameras.
Troy Fryman trying to do it instead. He fouls the first pitch back from Brock for a foul, and the count will go to 0-1.
You know, Harold, last night, Tony Francona deciding to, Gary Jones deciding to walk Troy Fryman to get to Michael Jordan with 2 outs last night in the bottom of the 7th with only 1 person on. And it really cost him.
Here's the 0-1, the breaking pitch, and he gets him to fish for it. 0-2 now.
Well, what they're doing right now, the Huntsville Stars are going to make this guy, Mr. Fryman, hit their pitch. They're not going to give him a pitch he can handle, hopefully. So when Michael Jordan comes up, they're hoping to get a ground ball double play and get out of the inning.
Big out here. It would take the sac fly out, a strikeout that is. So now big out for the Huntsville Stars.
But the infield is in, so that makes Troy Fryman probably gives him an extra 50 points on his batting average, makes him a much better hitter with the defense pulled in like that, trying to keep the score at 1 apiece.
Right. And if you notice, every pitch has been a curveball right now.
Brock wasting that one.
He needs to throw a fastball away or do something, make him chase a pitch. You don't want to feed a steady diet of breaking pitches.
Here is the pitch, and he gets him to go for strike 3. A big out number 2 here in the Barons half of the 6th inning. And in case you didn't know, Michael Jordan coming to the plate. Last night cheers, and I'm hearing a few boos tonight. So last night, some of these guys Jordan fans, and tonight maybe they're Stars fans.
And Harold, watch the number of flashes that you see behind them. Earlier I mentioned there was one that Ernie Young said that in the outfield that makes it very difficult. Now just as Michael starts to swing, you'll see, look how many flashes from the flash bulbs behind home plate. Everybody wanting to get a picture of Michael Jordan swinging the bat. That's terrific for the folks going home with the film, but for the outfielders for the Huntsville Stars, it makes it very difficult.
And for those folks who own stock in Kodak. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Jordan, fouls it back, and that will even the count up. At a ball and a strike. You know, ironically, last night, Jordan came up with the Stars up. His double put the Barons on top to stay tonight. He's got another opportunity to break them out on top.
And look at his swing. He's got that Chicago White Sox swing where he finishes with one hand on the bat. A lot of people don't like that kind of swing.
Worked out all winter at Comiskey Park. Here's the pitch. Cut on, grounder to second. Sobolewski with the good hands on to first, and the Stars are out of it here in the 6th inning. So the Barons threaten, but they can't cash in as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The score remains 1-all.
First, we will apply your payment to the accrued interest, then to any credit life insurance premiums not included in the principal. Also, the total loan amortized for the duration.
Tired of boring loans? You won't find them at AmSouth. Instead, you'll find exciting deals on everything from car loans to lines of credit, mortgage loans, and credit cards, all to save you money. No boring loans from AmSouth. The relationship people.
Mr. Jones? Mr. Jones?
The rules have changed. There is a better way to buy your next car. Stan McCullough changes the rules by giving you professional salespeople who'll help you find the best car or truck for you. And you know you'll always get a great price without all the hassle. Stan McCullough also offers you a great product and a large selection. Courteous treatment, a great product, and the best price. The rules have changed only at Stan McCullough Chrysler Plymouth Dodge, Highway 31 South, Decatur.
I see a lot of people my age who aren't ready for sex. I tell them to put it off until they know more. Because having sex can cause some problems, like getting HIV. It's okay to wait. It's a choice you can live with and feel good about. People out there gotta understand. That's why I'll go anywhere to talk about preventing the spread of HIV and other STDs. Even into your living room.
Bottom half of the 6th inning, hitters 5, 6, and 7 for the Stars. Shockey, Molina, and Hart trying to get something moving here against Andujar. An outstanding performance tonight, 1-1, as we get set to play here in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
This is the kind of game that Huntsville Stars fans have come to enjoy for the last several weeks, for this season, pretty much for the Huntsville Stars. Every game very close all the way to the end.
And the first offering from Andujar misses outside. Shockey on the ninth, 1 for 2. Reached on a single, back to third. Shockey, a 203 hitter. Takes a strike in the corner, evens the count up, out a ball and a strike.
You know, Harold and Jamie, when I was catching, I'd love these games more so than the high scoring.
Rock and roll. They seem to move fast.
Yeah, it keeps you in the game all the time.
Shockey falling behind in the count, a ball and 2 strikes now. They're giving Shockey a lot of room out in right center.
Yeah, hopefully he can hit a gap in what they call run for days.
Might see Michael Jordan's arm if he hits in that gap a little bit more to right. Michael moving over now to a little bit of to the left side of right field.
Don't know if you caught our pregame coverage, but if you did, you know that there is a putting green out behind the right field fence. So if we miss Jordan for any reason, we don't know where to find him. Shockey strikes out to lead off the 6th inning here.
He's going to pull out his chip shotter.
It's amazing what happens for an encore. If he doesn't want to play baseball, does he go play pro golf?
From what I understand, he's a very good golfer, too.
He's a fine golfer, and I believe he had mentioned even when he was in the NBA that one of these days he would be on the senior tour.
Izzy Molina up now, 0 for 2 tonight. He did reach on an error earlier tonight.
You know, I heard a lot of people criticizing the Chicago White Sox for the move of moving Michael Jordan. A lot of people don't realize that last season, just before the end of the year, the Hickory Crawdads is going to bring Michael in for about a 6-week stint with them in A-ball in the Chicago White Sox organization. Of course, it's near where Michael is from, but it was also at about the same time that Michael's father was killed. So at that time, the Hickory Crawdads and the Chicago White Sox kind of nixed that idea.
Very emotional year for Michael Jordan.
And then he announced a few weeks later that, a few months later, we should say, that he was going to give it a try with Chicago. The deal in Hickory, though, was pure public relations, and they were announcing it that way. This was just public relations.
You're telling me that a team by the name of Crawdads would do something for PR? Here's the pitch. Inside, and the count goes to 3-1.
Well, you know, he worked out periodically with the White Sox and the Cubs. And, you know, everybody thought it was a joke, but he's dead serious. I mean, he's 110%.
And, of course, the White Sox, they've got a connection to the Chicago Bulls as far as the ownership, so it was a natural that he would take the White Sox over the Cubs.
And I kind of think this way. It may have been a publicity stunt to some extent for the Chicago White Sox, but to Michael Jordan, this was serious. He was at the ballpark down in spring training at 7:30 every morning, working overtime, trying to get down the technique that he had to do in spring training. He's serious about this.
Here's a 3-2 pitch, grounded down the third base line, and it's just foul.
How's your leg?
A bid for extra bases for Izzy Molina, but the count will hold at 3-2. You know, the outstanding thing is, one of the things that folks like about Michael Jordan, he makes $850 a month, but he bought a $350,000 bus, so nice math.
And not to mention rents a $5,000 a month house.
Right.
On the golf course.
But let's put it this way, because he's on the road again, he earned $16 today in meal money.
The other day, he couldn't find money for a $1.50 hot dog. Deja vu, Izzy Molina grounding it foul again.
You're talking a lot of McDonald's and Wendy's and...
Of course, in the minor leagues, you guys don't have that, right?
No.
Incidentally, a lot of folks at home may not realize just how much money you guys do get in did get in the majors as far as meal money compared to the minors. Here's the pitch, and Molina skies one to center. Capping under it, Kevin Coughlin will put the squeeze on for out number 2 here in the Stars' half of the 6th.
But let me give you a rough estimate and idea. In 1983 in Major League Camp, I made $670 a week.
A week.
Went to minor league camp, and it dropped to $180.
Is that per pitch or per week?
No, it's per week.
Just want to make sure. 2 outs here in the Stars' half of the 6th inning. That brings up Chris Hart, a .275 hitter. He struck out twice tonight, so you know Chris is trying to make contact tonight against Mr. Andujar, who has found his stuff after a bit of a shaky start.
You know, he's throwing a whale of a ball game. He's staying around the plate and just going after him.
Chris Hart will tell you that with those 2 strikeouts. He's in front of the count here, 2 balls, no strikes.
Only giving up 4 hits tonight to the Stars, and Russ Brock only giving up 5 hits to the Birmingham Barons. So both pitchers, this is what you call, the fans don't like these very much. These pitchers duel.
Nah, being a catcher, I love them.
And Andujar has to like that pitch. As we approach the middle innings here, he's still finding the corners. And Hart says he's finding them too much. Let's give him something to talk about and think about and step out.
That's exactly what you've got to do. You've got to step out and break this guy's momentum.
Here's the pitch. 2-1, trying to bunt his way on. Goes foul, evens the count up at 2-2.
Talking about tonight's 1-1 game in the middle of the 6th inning. You know, it's kind of unusual, and unlike most of the games we've seen in Major League Baseball. A lot of people talking about, is the ball juiced? And back in 1987, they were saying the ball was juiced. Jimmy?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the hitters are getting a lot stronger, and the pitchers are putting the pitch where the hitter's getting to them, and they're going a lot farther.
There's a strikeout. Speaking of good pitching, Andujar showing some stuff right there as he strikes out Chris Hart for the 3rd time on the night. So nothing across for the Stars here in the 6th. We played 6 full. The score is still tied at 1 apiece.
This month at Classic Olds Cadillac Jeep Eagle, we're having our annual spring cleaning sale.
With bargains like this, a 1994 Oldsmobile Delta 88 Royale, loaded for only $17,995, or a 1994 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme with leather and power seats for only $14,995.
Sweep up the savings at Classic, where we put the fun back into buying a car.
Classic Olds Cadillac Jeep Eagle, Highway 31 North, Coleman.
These children have lost their freedom. It has been taken from them by fear and violence. They are prisoners in their own world, a world that can be deadly. Kids shouldn't have to grow up this way. Give your children back their childhood. Do something now. Call 1-800-WE-PREVENT. Together, we will take a bite out of crime.
When Raymond was 6, I was afraid to take him to the playground because they were doing drugs. When he was 10, I couldn't let him play ball in the schoolyard because of the gangs. When he was 15, I wouldn't let him go to any dances because there could be a fight or a shooting. Now he's a man, and I realize he's never been a kid.
Give your children back their childhood. Do something now. Call 1-800-WE-PREVENT. Together, we will take a bite out of crime.
If you're just joining us from a Friday night out, you are looking live at a night of history here in the Tennessee Valley. The biggest crowd to ever watch a baseball game here in the Rocket City. Over 13,000, the projected crowd here tonight with the Stars and the Birmingham Barons. And leading off for the Barons, Mr. Coleman, 0 for 2 of the night. He's grounded out and struck out Ken Coleman. A reminder, you're watching WHNT TV, home of the #1 newscast in the state, voted by the Associated Press. And you know, Jamie, I hate to say that because Jerry Hayes has got me a 20 over here, so I satisfied Jerry over there.
Well, if that's the case, I'm going to say it 5 or 6 times before the end of the night.
Russ Brock throwing a golden game so far.
Me too, and I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Jerry.
You want to meet Jerry, huh?
I want to meet him. I'll key him up a few times. I got a house payment coming up.
Oh, speaking of numbers, Russ Brock, that is his 83rd pitch on the night. Keep in mind, he's supposed to pitch in the neighborhood of 100, 115, so he's just about done for the night. An outstanding performance.
Both pitchers doing a very good job of throwing some heat this evening, and both managers obviously want to get these pitchers through about the 6th, 7th inning.
There's a chop back up the box. Wood in, across, out. 1 out here in the 7th inning for the Birmingham Barons. Jason Wood showing some good range there, Jimmy.
You know, everybody thinks that those are a very easy play to make. In actuality, you're fielding them off the wrong foot.
And you can see it.
And you're coming in and you're throwing off balance. I mean, he made that look nice and easy, but it is actually a hard play.
Making it easy for Scott Shockey to throw right on the money. That'll bring up Nunez. 1 for 2 tonight, a single back to third.
You know, I would have hated to have been Mark Grace on the end of that if Sean Dunston was coming across, because, you know, they say he saves him 10 errors a year.
That's like having, what, Nolan Ryan at shortstop?
Yeah. I mean, that's a guy who never throws anything lightly.
Some activity down for the Barons in the bullpen. Andujar having thrown 100 pitches already tonight, so you expect the Barons to be making a move. There's a pop foul backing out of play. The count goes to 0-2 here in the top half of the 7th inning. A great night and a great game tied at 1.
Got the wave going tonight, Harold. It's not often you see the wave at Joe Davis Stadium during a baseball game.
We've moved it up from a ripple to a wave.
That's right.
Time has been called. I guess Nunez wants to see the wave. Nunez will step back in now. And Brock will throw the 0-2 pitch. Chop foul down the first base line. The count will hold. This is what you got to like. Most of the fans, we got to keep in mind, this is probably their first time to come out. Last night they told me 3 out of every 4 fans, that was their first time to come out to a baseball game. And they're finding out what they're missing. A lot of fun, as they say, at the old ballpark.
Well, it probably won't be their last either.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. An excuse me swing down to third. Giambi with the arm. Out number 2 here in the 7th inning. Giambi showing a good arm there, Jimmy.
Yeah, he made a good play. It was like I wanted to swing at it, then I didn't, and then, oops.
With an 0-2 count, he was just protecting the plate.
Hoping to foul that ball off.
That brings up Doug Brady. He's had a night, one of the few to reach. Russ Brock, 2 for 3. Both of them singles. Steps in from the left side. 270 the batting average for Brady. Takes a strike on the corner. And Russ Brock continues to show that not only does he have the velocity, he's got control.
Russ Brock having a terrific game, but this is why he hasn't picked up a win so far this year. Only 1 run from his offense, and it's going to be difficult for him to pick up a win unless they do something in the bottom of this inning.
This one goes to the penthouse way up there, and camping under it, Sobolewski for the third out here in the 7th inning. So 1-2-3, Russ Brock with another outstanding inning. We head to the bottom half of the 7th. Score is still tied at 1.
Just like you, Williams Service is proud to call North Alabama home. Williams Service and the local operators of Williams Service Stations supply quality gasoline at the lowest possible prices to their communities across North Alabama. Now, with 50 locations and continuing to grow, Williams Service thanks you for your support. Williams Service promises to continue to be a good friend close by you can count on. Williams Service, quality gasoline, low prices, friendly people, and just like you, at home in North Alabama.
Safety. It's one of the most important things to consider in a new car purchase. And Bobby Lane gives you safety and a great price. Like this 94 Sunbird at just $10,999 drive-out priced. With anti-lock brakes, side guard door beams, automatic door locks, and much more. Or for only $14,999 drive-out in this 94 Grand Am. With anti-lock brakes, airbag, automatic locks, and much more. Hurry, this offer won't last long. It's safety at a great price at your exclusive Pontiac dealer. Bobby Lane Pontiac, Highway 31 South, Decatur.
I lived in this institution, yeah, once.
What was it like?
Scary.
We're people first. We're just as normal as anybody else.
I could do things. I can work with my hands. We're just a slower learner.
Do you like working?
Yeah, but if I working hard, I save money in the bank.
What do we want?
We want our rights.
Join the dialogue. Join the ARC.
We are as human as those not handicapped.
Good night for the Goose Eggs tonight. 1-1 as we play here in the 7th inning. And we understand Steve Johnson is standing by down in amongst those 13,000 or so fans with one happy camper. Steve?
Yeah, well, actually, all happy campers. You guys having a good time?
Yeah, we're having a fun time.
What do you like about this thing tonight?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Now, wait a minute. Will you come back and see the stars?
I'm coming back tomorrow night, probably.
Okay, what's your name?
Sean Thompson.
Where are you from, Sean?
Ardmore.
Ardmore's here. Let's take it back up to the booth and rejoin the action.
And action we've got leading off here in the 7th inning. Jason Wood, the chopped to third, and Chris Snowpack taking care of it. One out as we lead off the 7th inning here. Snowpack, you mentioned earlier, had, 4 errors in one game, but didn't show it there. Plenty of stuff on that throw. And one down. You know, new pitcher for the Birmingham Barons, Barry Johnson, 3-0 on the year. Gotta like that ERA, Jamie.
Boy, .67 for Johnson. He's a big right-handed pitcher for the Birmingham Barons. He's the opponent's only batting 180 against him, but he's given up the long ball. 2 home runs in the 7 appearances he's had so far this year for the Barons.
And Damon Mayshore would like to break out of his slump with a home run of his own right here. Mayshore 0 for 2 tonight, struck out, grounded out to second earlier.
You know, we have one out, and Jason Wood needed to show that every hitter what this guy's got, and he went in there and swung at the first pitch fastball right down the middle of the plate.
It's not what you really look for, is it, Jimmy? You need, as you said, that first batter to take a few pitches.
Right, late in the game, we want to see pitches. I mean, it's helpful for the rest of the hitters. Hank comes back to the dugout, and he goes, what's he got? Well, I only saw one pitch, a fastball.
And so far, he has mowed down the batters in the Southern League. Once again, opposing teams only hitting 188 against him so far.
Last year, he split the season with Birmingham and Sarasota in the Florida League and the Florida State League. 5-0 with Florida, or Sarasota rather, 2-0 with Birmingham. And when he came to Birmingham, his ERA jumped up to over 3 a game, 3 runs a game.
Mayshore to right center, camping under it, Kevin Coughlin. That's out number 2. And we'll bring the top of the order up for the Huntsville Stars in the person of Kerwin Moore.
Well, maybe we can get him on base, walk, base hit, or whatever. We could steal second, maybe third.
I like the way you think, Jimmy. And a lot like Ricky Henderson. Seems like you'd like to play for Whitey Herzog with the St. Louis Cardinals. You get on first, and before you know it, you're at third base, and the next guy hasn't even swung the bat.
Yeah, I tell you what, if I could run and steal bases, I sure wouldn't be sitting up here.
Oh, with a game like this, with a batter like Kerwin Moore at the plate, if you can get him on, there's no reason why you shouldn't try to steal at least second base.
Oh, yeah, you've got to get him in scoring position. We're getting to the bottom of the 7th here, and we need to get some runners on base.
Won't do it this time. Doug Brady at second and gets him by a step for out number 3. So the Stars go down 1-2-3 here in the 7th, and we remain tied 1-1 as we head to the top of the 8th.
First, we will apply your payment to the accrued interest, then to any credit life insurance premiums not included in the principal. Also, the total loan amortized for the duration.
Tired of boring loans? You won't find them at AmSouth. Instead, you'll find exciting deals on everything from car loans to lines of credit, mortgage loans, and credit cards, all to save you money. No boring loans from AmSouth. The relationship people.
Mr. Jones? Mr. Jones?
Welcome to the Mazda Exceptional Sales Event. Get great deals on exceptional Mazdas like the 626 with loads of standard features and an MSRP almost $1,900 less than a comparably equipped Camry LE. Now you can lease a 626LX for $199 a month with just $1,200 down. But hurry, leases like this on 626 won't last long. See your Mazda dealer today. Mazda, it just feels right.
If you had captured this with your home video camera, or any of these newsworthy events, you could have been $25 richer and become a part of WHNT's News Tipper 19 network. To participate, write us in care of the station. We'll send you a packet of information and sign you up. And if we use your video, WHNT will pay you $25 and mention your name on the air. News Tipper 19, just another reason WHNT is here for you.
Top half of the 8th inning, you're looking at the first Huntsville Stars manager and the latest Huntsville Stars manager there. That's Brad Fisher looking on, along with Gary Jones and Russ Brock doing a little starring and cat and mouse off the mound, coming off and getting that one unassisted. Russ Brock doing a good job for out number 1 here in the top half of the 8th inning.
Russ Brock doing a good job so far pitching in this ball game. He's already in the bottom of the 7th inning. But we've got some action in the bullpen for the Huntsville Stars. Steve Phoenix up and at him throwing today.
And again, if you're just joining us, that's not because Russ Brock is having a poor performance. He's just pitched his quota for the night. They don't know wear out his arm. And what a night it's been so far. Scott Tedder, the DH, trying to bunt his way on here. Anything at this point with a 1-1 game and good pitching. Doesn't matter if you're the DH, the number 3, number 4 hitter. You do just about anything to get on base, Jimmy.
Exactly. Especially guys moving out of play all the time. Strong strikes. Exactly what the managers want them to do is they're getting them into the 8th inning.
And he takes a ball outside. That evens the count up at a ball and a strike.
The thing you hate to see, though, for Russ is that if he leaves the game right now, he's not going to have a chance at a win.
Well, hopefully we can score a run in the 8th.
We can get a run. Yeah, that's right. If we can get a run in the bottom of the 8th, then if he stays in that.
Right. He's got to stay in there.
But again, it won't do anything to hurt his 2.73 earned run average coming in tonight either.
No, sir. It just gets better.
When they send the scouting report back to the big boys, I guarantee you they're going to like the numbers tonight so far. Misses high there. The count goes to 3-1.
You know, I don't think Oakland's organization is so concerned with the record as they are the innings pitched and the earned run average.
Speaking of which, you see activity down in the Stars bullpen.
That's Steve Phoenix, played here last year as well.
You'll never guess where Steve Phoenix is from. Would you believe Phoenix, Arizona? He lives up to his name. Russ Brock with a 3-2 pitch, and he loses. Scott Tedder here with 1 out in the 8th inning.
Well, he sure doesn't have to go far for spring training then. 10 minutes to Scottsdale.
At the community college there. A lot of trees out there, huh, Jimmy?
Oh, yeah. A lot of cotton.
And it may be that they're giving Mr. Phoenix some more time to warm up down there. The Stars may be contemplating a move right here. Molina to the mound to try to steal some time.
Exactly. When the catcher comes out late in the game like that, all he's doing is buying some time for the pitcher in the bullpen to get ready. Usually when the umpire goes to get him, the manager will come out just immediately after that.
Well, they took a good long look, and Izzy now looking at Gary Jones over in the dugout, wondering what we're going to do.
If you watch Izzy between every pitch, he's going to look in and see if Gary Jones may want to pitch out or what.
He's just coming back out there right now. Gary Jones, anytime you see the manager coming out, more than likely you're going to see a change. And Gary's looking down to the bullpen and making his move.
There was no hesitation in there. I tell you what, Russ threw a fine game.
And we'd like to take this opportunity to remind you that you are watching Huntsville Stars baseball with the Birmingham Barons live here on WHNT, home of the exclusive Doppler 19 radar. And the radar gun tonight here at Joe Davis Stadium has been seeing fastballs in the neighborhood of 85 miles an hour in the case of Andujar. He's had his changeup going, so a good night pitching-wise. And speaking of pitching, why don't we pitch it down to Steve Johnson and get in the middle of this big crowd here tonight.
I'll tell you what, these fans are everywhere. Everybody's wanting to be on TV except this guy. He didn't ask me, but now you're a star. Where are you from?
Decatur.
Decatur, what do you think about this? I mean, this is a lot of fun. 13,000 people watching baseball.
I'm just speechless about it.
Well said. Are you here for Michael Jordan or the Stars?
Michael Jordan.
Will you come back and watch the Stars?
Probably.
Probably. You got a baseball cap on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was observant of me, wasn't it? A lot of fans here. Let's grab another one. This is great. I love this. What's your name?
James.
What do you think about this baseball stuff?
This is okay.
Are you here to see Michael Jordan?
Yes.
How's he done in your mind so far?
Not too good.
Not too good? Really? Well, I mean, he's doing pretty good in the field.
Yeah, but he's not doing too good in hitting.
Okay, well, James, maybe he'll do better. Thank you. Hey, we're having a good time down here, guys.
Indeed. Yeah. And that's a nice thing about a big crowd like this. From Florence to Fort Payne, you get all the folks in here. And speaking of Fort Payne, I had a chance to see one of their esteemed residents here last night, a fellow by the name of Randy Owen, who, if you're just joining us, now owns a piece of these Huntsville Stars, one of the co-owners. And we're proud to say that the Stars are now in the hands of local owners, and that has to be a boon as well, Jimmy.
Yeah, you know, he's got a new song, The Cheap Seats, too, talking about minor league baseball.
You know, I think I heard it a while ago.
Yeah, they played it just before the game.
I believe that was filmed in Chattanooga.
Yep, Chattanooga Lookouts doing a little bit of acting there. Steve Phoenix now taking the mound for the Huntsville Stars. Steve getting a return trip to Huntsville. Last year he started the year with Huntsville. Then he was promoted to Tacoma. He went 11-5 and a 2.79 ERA in 24 starts for the Stars in 92. And last year, 2-2, 1.40 ERA and 1 save for the Stars before he made the trip to Tacoma. He's back in town now, but wants another look over to AAA.
And his numbers showing on the board, 0-0, the ERA, 0-0-0. He'd like to keep it that way here as he faces Mike Robertson, the cleanup man for the Birmingham Barons, with 1 on and 1 out. Here in the 8th inning, the score tied at 1. It's out in front, and that's what you want to do, Jimmy. Come out of the bullpen and jump out in front of that first hitter.
Exactly, and you know they're not going to probably bunt because of the fact the cleanup hitter's on, and I wish that Huntsville would get just in this guy's hip pocket at first base.
Holding at first, Scott Shockey. Some hitting room on the right side of the infield. Phoenix with a toss over.
Usually when you get to this part of the game that you just don't want to throw inside. You don't want to get hurt late in the game inside.
Phoenix to the belt, a look to first. And Robertson takes outside. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Looks like the Stars are giving him some hitting room, moving over into left center now. Kerwin Moore, so a lot of hitting space out in right center.
I'd have to say that Huntsville's going away. I mean, there's no way they're going to give him that much room if they're not going to pitch him away.
Robertson with power, he fouls that one off, but let us remind you that the wind is blowing in and at a rather brisk rate.
Steve Phoenix appearing a little bit earlier than he has been earlier this season. He has 4 saves and 7 appearances so far for the Stars. Not in a save opportunity here. He could get the win if he stays in long enough.
And he wouldn't mind that a bit. It would be his first on the year. Working here in the 8th inning in a tied ball game. A look to first. Here's the pitch. Shot down the right side. Shockey will take the out at first. Wood back to first. And it's a double play. A pitcher's best friend. as the Stars and Steve Phoenix work their way out of the jam here in the 8th inning. So nothing across. Let's go to the replay and see Scott Shockey playing good fundamental baseball. Gloves it, never looked at first, goes to Jason Wood, comes back to first, and Steve Phoenix doing his thing, and the Stars are out of it here in the 8th inning. We head to the bottom half, the score 1-1.
One night while sleeping in my bed, I had a beautiful dream that all the people...
Ooh, slice it fresh, don't you know?
Simply Blimpie. Simply Blimpie from Fresh Slice Slubs.
Slubs? What's a slub?
Never skimpy, never wimpy. Simply, simply Blimpie.
Simply Blimpie from Fresh Slice Slubs. They're Fresh Slice.
At Blimpie, we use only fresh sliced meats and cheeses in our subs. That's why you can say...
It's simply Blimpies. 2 Huntsville locations.
Simply Blimpie.
Jerry Evans Pro Shop is having a giant remodeling sale. Sale prices are reduced store-wide. All clubs and bags are 10% off. Men's and ladies' shoes are 15 to 25%. Ping, Reebok, and other shirts are 25 to 40%. Sweaters and jackets are 50%. Mini metalwoods are $29.99. Top Flight 15 ball packs are $14.99. We feature Cobra and Zing 2 clubs and the new Callaway Warbirds. Register for $1,200 and free merchandise at Jerry Evans Pro Shop, Huntsville.
Ah, the weekends. Before you... or even... Turn to WHNT's Weekend Daybreak for the Valley's first local news and the Doppler 19 forecast for your backyard. From 6 to 8, Amy Whitty and Robert Reeves update all the weekend news and sports scores. And Alan Moore gives you a forecast to help you plan your day for... only on News Center 19's Weekend Daybreak.
A lot of blowing in the wind here tonight at Joe Davis Stadium. A brisk wind and a fast ball game. 1-1 as we play here in the 8th inning. And we mentioned a big crowd on hand tonight. The official numbers are now in. Stars General Manager Don Mencher thinking around 13,000. The official count, 12,819. That does snap the old record by almost 400. The other record, 12,448, gentlemen.
It was with Chattanooga back in 1990, Harold. Fireworks night on the 4th of July.
A lot of fireworks here tonight with Michael Jordan's show in town, and Sobolewski leading off here for the Stars in the 8th inning, and he's trying to get some fireworks going. He could light it, being the leadoff man here in the 8th inning. Batting .329. Barry Johnson wheels and deals, and there's a strikeout to lead off the 8th inning. Sobolewski will take a seat. That brings up Jimmy Wagner, put in as a defensive man earlier. Jimmy Wagner considered to be the old man on the staff, and it looks like Terry Francona is coming to the mound and not even going to discuss it. He's going to go ahead and make his change right here.
We do have someone up in the Birmingham Barons bullpen, a lefty. Wondering if we're going to see a change here. Johnson pitching very well, but may need that left-handed batter, Jimmy. I mean, left-handed pitcher, rather.
Yeah, I would say so. It looked like he was throwing some curveballs down there. And, you know, I think that they're going to try and just get ahead of this guy and go after him.
Jimmy Wagner, the backup third baseman to Jason Giambi. Obviously with the glove coming in, the late game replacement. Wagner, the oldest member of the Huntsville Stars, and I'm sure he's thrilled to death that we brought that to the attention of our audience tonight.
You know, he hasn't been playing very much because he had some problems in his health. He'd been injured earlier this year, so he hadn't been playing a lot, but definitely one of the guys that the Huntsville Stars loves to have on the ball club.
A fellow you never see injured. Steve Johnson standing by with some of those folks we mentioned, 12,819. And why don't we meet one of them with Steve right now downstairs.
Okay, guys, I'm standing by with some fans. Where are y'all from?
Muscle Shoals.
Okay, they're from Muscle Shoals. Hey, why'd y'all come all the way to Huntsville for baseball?
It's like baseball.
You didn't come to see Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Okay, you came to see Michael Jordan.
Yeah, what's his numbers?
Have you been disappointed?
Yeah, kind of.
Really? I mean, have you been? But isn't it fun? I mean, all these people, everybody fired up. Aren't you having a good time?
Yeah, I just want to get a foul ball.
You just want to get a foul ball? We got to arrange a foul ball, Harold. Could you talk to somebody up there? Harold?
Well, we're getting the homework on the Barons' new reliever here, Joey Vieira. This is his 9th appearance on the year.
And Joey with a 3.86 ERA for the Birmingham Barons. But here's the number that stands out to me. Opponents are batting over 400 against Vieira. That is a good bit more than the Birmingham Barons offense has been doing, as we got another good shot of Michael Jordan in right field. Michael, though, not really concerned about the Chicago Bulls opening up the playoffs this week. In the NBA, he wants a Southern League championship.
A year ago, getting ready for the playoffs of the Bulls, and this week, getting ready to try and beat the Stars for the second straight night, where Stars fans hoping for a little different outcome.
Harold and Jamie, I believe Joey's one job is get this left-hander. They've already got a right-hander heating up in the bullpen.
And he jumps out and does his job well on the first pitch, jumping out 0-1 on Jimmy Wagner.
So you think this is it? One batter for this pitcher?
I believe so.
Here's the pitch, and the count will even up at a ball and a strike. If I'm not mistaken, Jimmy Wagner knows all about Huntsville. He's from just up the road at a place called Nashville, home of our very own WHNT's Jerry Hayes, so it has to be good country. Jerry most days a pretty good boy. Here's the pitch, and he catches the corner, and Wagner falls behind, a ball and 2 strikes with 1 out here in a tied ball game in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
It looks like Joey's got better control of his curveball than he does his fastball. He's throwing 2 strikes with his curveball, missed with the fastball.
And boy, was he fooled there. Jimmy Wagner didn't have a clue. He was looking fastball and got the opposite, and he'll take a seat. Out number 2 here in the 8th inning.
You know, I feel sorry for Wagner on that situation. You're down 1-2 in the count. You got a left-hander who comes in and throws a sidearm curveball at you. You're bailing.
And an interesting scenario here. Looks like that Francona is going to stay with this lefty to face the righty, the cleanup man, not just any righty, but Ernie Young, who's swinging a hot stick.
You're right.
Young will go after the first one and tap it foul, 0-1 to count.
This is a good situation for Ernie Young. Vieira not pitching a lot of innings for the Birmingham Barons. He's appeared in 8 games so far this year, only pitched 9 1/3. So we'll see what he does against Ernie Young, but a good situation for Ernie, a right-handed batter, and Ernie can go deep.
Here's the pitch. He'll take strike 2. So far, Southern League batters have had their way with Vieira, hitting a .314 batting average to date.
Vieira's thrown 5 curveballs, all strikes.
And if you're a batter, that's bad news. I'm sure that Young will be looking for the curveball here with an 0-2. Here's the pitch. Will he waste one? Yes, in the dirt. And the count will go 1-2.
Ernie's the kind of batter that can break open a game very easily, even with 2 outs. He's the kind of guy that can go deep. And 1 run in this game just may win it, because we're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Just another couple of chances for the Stars. 1 more chance for the Barons to try to generate some offense. Ernie Young, 1 swing of the bat, and he's proven it already this year with some appropriate and well-timed home runs.
Doing it again tonight, 2 for 3. Here's the pitch. He takes a ball, and the count will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
If you notice the catcher, he given 2, meaning curveball, 1, meaning fastball. When he wiggles his fingers, that's a changeup.
Ernie Young needs our vantage point there to have a little advantage, Jimmy.
He's throwing a curveball right now.
Here's the pitch, and there it is in the dirt again. And the count will go full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
An important pitch for that one right there with for Vieira, Jimmy. Now the bases, or the count is full, so he's going to have to come across with a strike. But is he, with Ernie Young up at the plate?
I don't think he's going to challenge him. I don't think so. He's got the power to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And
Scott Shockey on deck, too.
And I don't think he's going to challenge him.
We shall see.
He's going with a fastball
away. The count 3-2. Here's the pitch. Young with a good eye. He'll take all 4. And that's the potential go-ahead run here in the 8th inning. We'll bring up Scott Shockey.
Let's see how Scott's going to react to this left-handed curveball, him being a left-handed hitter.
Shockey, the first baseman for the Huntsville Stars. 1 for 3 on the night, hitting 200.
Excuse me, Harold. Ernie Young standing on first base. He's 3 of 6 in stolen base opportunities for the Huntsville Stars. Love to get him in scoring position, but with 2 outs, it's a big chance.
And your number 5 man at the plate. Throw over, and I guess that's what his what you call his Z move. I wouldn't call that his A move, Jimmy.
No, sir. Terry's going to throw over there a couple times, thinking that he may go. they also, Huntsville needs to see this guy's move for down the road.
And an interesting move there. A little look at first, home plate, and back to first. You don't see that very often.
Right. Usually when a pitcher looks at home plate, he's coming to first. And when he looks at you, he's going home.
Being a lefty, he has an added advantage. That cuts down on Young's lead a bit. Here's the pitch. And he catches a corner for a strike.
That's a tough pitch to handle for any left-handed hitter. Being a 3/4 sidearm to a left-hander and catching the outside corner.
If the Stars do have an advantage, should they elect to run, we've got a left-handed batter up in Scott Shockey. The catcher has shaded just a bit. Here's the pitch. Goes fishing, can't connect. And the count goes to 0-2.
Don't be surprised if Gary Jones starts Ernie Young on a delayed steal here.
Gary Jones, very aggressive. And a very good hitter. Still holds a Southern League record for 6 hits in one game, 6 for 6 back in 1986. Gary reminded me of that today. He just happened to have that knowledge right on the tip of his tongue.
And there's a guy who doesn't say a whole lot. It's, hey, Harold, remember?
Oh, by the way, 0-2 the pitch, and Shockey will go down swinging for out number 3 here in the 8th inning. So Ernie Young reaches but can't come home, and that will keep things the way they are as we head to the 9th inning. We're all tied up at 1 apiece.
Way back when I believe in this land. It's like an old friend to me. All I can count on it faithfully. It's always been here when I've needed it most.
Hey, Earl. Well, howdy, Richard.
I wanted to bring you your claim check just as soon as I could.
Well, thanks, Richard. It's nice doing business with someone you can count on.
That's my pleasure.
Call Alpha.
Hi, I'm James B. Sicking. You know me from the Pelican Brief, Hill Street Blues, and as Dr. Hauser. While real doctors are trained to see health changes in their patients, often friends and loved ones will notice forgetfulness first. If you know someone who's having trouble remembering things and wondering if something serious is going on, just call. Toll-free, 1-800-438-4380. They'll be happy to talk with you and send you free information on forgetfulness that may help.
Spring Burst 94, April 7th through May 14th. Call the Huntsville Land Trust at 534-LAND.
Top half of the 9th inning. We're all tied at 1, and hold the popcorn. Michael Jordan will be coming to the plate here in the 9th inning, barring a pinch hitter. It will be Snopek, Fryman, and Jordan batting 3rd here in the 9th inning. We are tied, if you're just joining us, at 1 apiece. Harold Bugg along with our man Jamie Tucker and Jimmy Jones doing the play-by-play here tonight from Joe Davis Stadium. The Huntsville Stars and Birmingham Barons turning in a jewel, guys.
Oh boy, I tell you, a lot of folks wanting tickets just to see Michael Jordan, but people coming out to the ballpark tonight and people joining us at home are seeing a great baseball game. Doesn't matter who's playing right field for the Barons.
Snowpack leading off 0 for 2 tonight. Had a sacrifice back in the 6th inning.
If you notice the defense, how they're set, they are guarding the lines, meaning no doubles, and the outfield's a little deeper.
Here's the 1-0 pitch, and the count goes to 2-0. And if you're Gary Jones, that's the last thing you want to see right there in the 9th inning, a tight ball game and falling behind that leadoff man.
The Huntsville Stars aren't strangers to tight ball games in the 9th inning. They started out by winning several games down in Orlando on that first road trip to start the season. They won several of those games either in the top half of the 8th inning or the 9th inning, winning some by 1 and 2 runs.
Steve Phoenix falling behind, looking for a strike, throws 4 straight balls, and the Barons have the leadoff man here on in the 9th inning.
You can bet that Terry Francona has given him a take sign on the first pitch.
That will bring up a good stick in Troy Fryman. Last night the DH, tonight the first baseman. Having a rough time of it tonight. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. But that was against the Stars starter, Russ Brock. Phoenix now having to work from the stretch. Fryman trying to move him along. Didn't square the bunt there. Molina didn't like what he saw. Will take a trip to the mound.
I believe Fryman's going to be taken until he at least gets one strike.
Stars with nobody working in the bullpen, and that man there up next, Michael Jordan, the hero last night for the Birmingham Barons. Steve Phoenix trying to keep him from being the hero again tonight.
What Gary Jones is telling us is this is Steve Phoenix's game to win or lose.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. He's thrown 5 straight balls. A throw to first in this case. And Snopek is back.
This is a similar situation that the Stars and Barons had last night in the 7th inning with Jordan on deck and the Barons threatening, this time with just 1 out. So it's a little bit differently, but Michael Jordan may get another chance to drive in another RBI that could prove to be the game winner. It could happen right here in the top of the 9th inning. Talking to some of the Barons earlier, they say that no matter where they've played, they feel like in some situations they're the home team because the fans are pulling for Michael so much.
Phoenix trying to keep the runner close at first. An extra base hit in all likelihood could bring him home. Would like to keep him from making third here with nobody out, or at least check that 1 out here in the 9th inning.
I guess the way they feel, Jamie, the only thing they change is their uniform from gray on the home, or from gray on the road to white at home.
You know, and Ernie Young was talking to me earlier, and it really bothered the Huntsville Stars last night when the fans cheered so hard for Michael when he drove in the game-winning RBIs, and he also caught the last out for the Birmingham Barons over in right field. Ernie said he had to look down at his jersey to make sure he was wearing the home white because he wasn't sure based on the fan reaction.
Was talking with Gary Jones, the Stars skipper, before the game today, and he made note of that too. And all the guys in the dugout made note of it as well.
Yeah, but deep down, these people are all pulling for the Stars.
You've got it.
I've been here. I've been here parts of 2 seasons, and they're great fans.
I.e. Jimmy Jones staying, what, a California native?
Yeah.
That's an indication of just how great these fans are. Chop back to second. Sobolewski to short. Wood. That's 1 out. Back to first. Double play, and that is what you want to see. A 4-6-3 DP. And now we have 2 outs here in the 9th inning.
Boy, that helps a lot. When in a situation like that, with the top of the 9th inning, boy, that's a big relief for the Huntsville Stars. And now here's Michael Jordan. He is possibly his last at bat tonight in Huntsville.
That sure does give Steve Phoenix out of the doghouse with manager Gary Jones.
Look at the flashes from that center field camera. You can see all of the flashes behind home plate. That's the view of the center fielders and the outfielders every time Michael Jordan comes to bat.
First pitch of ball. Keep in mind, Jordan, all of his hits this year singles except for 2.
And one of those coming last night, Harold, is second extra base hit.
Here's the pitch, and trying to go fishing down that same neck of the woods there. And you know, some fans are happy about getting that foul ball.
You know,
off the bat of Michael.
I think Michael has finally realized that everybody is trying to throw him inside. When you're a right-hander, you're not going to throw an inside slider or curveball to him. He is geared inside, and that's why he turned on that pitch so much.
You've seen him bat now, what, 4 times? How about his hands, Jimmy? Does he have the quick hands?
As of now, he does. The hardest part, again, is going to be when you get into the 135 game area.
Here's the 1-1 pitch from Steve Phoenix, trying to nail down out number 3 in the person of Michael Jordan, and inching ever closer, a strike. The count goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
Michael Jordan really striking out a lot this season for the Birmingham Barons. Coming into this game, 20. He's already had 1 strikeout tonight. 21 strikeouts for Michael Jordan this season for the Barons.
When you're 6'6", a pretty big strike zone. Here's the pitch. He'd have to be about 8'6" to hit that one upstairs. And the count goes to 2-2.
Well, that serves as a purpose pitch right there. They're going to probably come back in with a fastball inside.
And the shot you saw there apparently off the foul ball of Michael Jordan. We hope that fan is all right. Here's the 2-2 offering. Michael Jordan goes to the 1 down and doesn't connect. And that's out number 3. Steve Phoenix getting a strikeout and the double play. So we head to the bottom half of the 9th inning. The Stars with a chance to win it. We go in tied at 1.
There's a special kind of feeling, a special kind of trust.
For over 60 years, Cook's has been the South's trusted name in termite and pest control. And we back our work with the ultimate guarantee, your complete satisfaction or your money back. Cook's Pest Control. Our superior training means superior results.
Looky, 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 here comes Cookie, Cook's Pest Control.
Country folks really depend on their neighbors because they're not just people next door. They're your friends, people you can count on. At Williams Service, we're country folks too, and with over 40 locations, we've been your neighbor all along. We know that most people are looking for quality gasoline. That's why we sell only the finest quality, clean burning gas at competitive prices. Premium gasoline from Williams Service, a next-door neighbor you can always depend on. Down the road.
First, we will apply your payment to the accrued interest, then to any credit life insurance premiums not included in the principal. Also, the total loan amortized for the duration.
Tired of boring loans? You won't find them at AmSouth. Instead, you'll find exciting deals on everything from car loans to lines of credit, mortgage loans, and credit cards, all to save you money. No boring loans from AmSouth. The relationship people.
Mr. Jones? Mr. Jones?
Bottom half of the ninth inning, a good chance for some dramatics with the Stars' number 6, 7, and 8 hitters, leading off with Izzy Molina, 0 for 3 tonight. Coming up in a tied ball game at 1, Izzy a chance to play hero tonight and steal some of the thunder from the Michael Jordan show.
Boy, the Barons love this situation. They've loved it all year. Able to get those hits.
Goes after the first one, and there's some good news for the Stars. Grounds it through the hole in the left field on a leadoff single for Izzy Molina. We'll play it halfway and come back, and that will set the stage for Chris Hart.
Gary may bunt him over or just call a timeout and put a pinch runner in.
He's got Garrett Beard, an outstanding catcher. If he does decide to go for the speed, of course, I thought all catchers had great speed, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah. We dreamed about it. The only one I ever known who had great speed was a guy named Scott Heeman, and you guys all remember him.
In case you're wondering, the numbers on Michael Jordan tonight, he's hitless. His updated batting average now at .281. He came into the night with a 300 clip, and wouldn't you know it, Jamie, he dropped how many points? 19. Wouldn't you know it?
How about that? We couldn't have planned it any better. You know, maybe it's because the book on Michael has been so widespread known. Everyone knows how to pitch Michael Jordan coming in, and the more at-bats he gets throughout the Southern League, the more everyone's going to know how to pitch to him.
Chris Hart with 3 strikeouts tonight, trying to redeem himself here. A chance to get the collar off his neck.
Some
trying
good news,
to move him over.
Good news down on the third baseline. The person hit by that foul ball by Michael Jordan apparently okay.
Indeed, good news. Hart trying to bunt him over, but it's a foul, and the count will go to 0-1.
If she is okay, she'll be very happy that she was hit, because more than likely she will get a ball from Michael Jordan.
Interesting story with Michael Jordan in Nashville over the weekend. A young fan jumped the gate, went to get him on his way out to the bus. The security guards tackled him, and they asked him why he did such a thing, and wouldn't you know it, apparently his friend had been shot in class up in Nashville. He was going to request Michael to go to the young man's funeral. Michael agreed at the time, and then due to some scheduling conflicts was unable to do so. So everywhere he goes, he gets it from the fans, and we're just tickled to death that this young fan apparently is all right. Charging in from first and third, and now they've got him dead to right to throw down, and Molina is back. He got crossed up there. Hart was trying to play traffic cop and move him down, and Izzy didn't know what to do there, huh?
Exactly, and that's the second time I've seen Nunez trip on that side of the plate.
There he goes. You can see that he just doesn't know what to do. It's the old cool hand Luke there, a little failure to communicate.
Don't be surprised if Gary's trying to bait these people in and put a hit and run on. Usually after a couple times you show bunt, you're thinking about getting a fastball.
He's got the 1-1 to throw to first. Not much of a lead there for Molina. He's back. This expands the infield for the Stars, with the corners charging at third and first in the person of Snopek and Troy Fryman. They're coming again. Here's the pitch. This time backed up the box. They're going to go to second. He is out of there at second. So a bad attempt for Chris Hart tonight, trying to move that runner up. He just didn't put it in the right place.
That ball needs to be bunted down the third baseline.
Handled very well by Robertson, too.
Right. He needed to bunt that down the third baseline and make the third baseman try and throw him out to the shortstop.
And you can see the disgust there on Chris Hart's face. Not getting the job done there, wanting to move him up. Unable to do so, and now Francona is coming to the mound, apparently going to make another pitching change.
Birmingham played that very well defensively. They had the first baseman, the third baseman charging along with the pitcher. A lot of times hitters pull back and what they call a butcher boy, pull back and take a half swing at the ball and try and pop it through there. Huntsville was just trying to get the ball down and give up the runner at first base and leave Isa Molina at second.
Francona in this case just wanting to settle his young man down. Is going to leave him in there. And pitch to Jason Wood here, 0 for 2 on the night with a .242 batting average.
No, we got a new one.
Oh, they did bring one in, all right.
They brought him via tunnel.
They brought him in, what, the old trick play there, huh?
Steve Gakowski. Sound like the guy that Bill Clinton imitated, the Bud Light guy. Steve Gakowski, he's 0-1 with a 4.38 ERA for the Birmingham Barons. Been in 9 games so far, 1 save in 12 innings, and opponents have had a little bit of trouble batting against him. He's under 200 for the opponent's batting average, 196, and he is a right-handed pitcher.
And we want to take this opportunity while we have it to remind our viewers that News Center 19 is on deck following the ball game tonight.
This is a quick ball game. Last night the game wasn't over till 10:20. Tonight we're in the top half or the bottom half of the 9th inning. It's only 9:30, so that's a good indication that we're watching a pitcher's duel.
One of the difference last night, 13 total runs scored tonight, a total of 2, and they've been split right down the middle at 1 apiece with 1 out here in the 9th inning. Jason Wood trying to send this big crowd home happy.
You know, isn't that funny how one night you can score 13 and the next you can't even score 2?
That's what's so much fun about this ball game. Always unpredictable. Jason Wood stepping in now.
Game of inches. That's
it
what
certainly
they call
is.
it.
Yeah.
Wood, a .242 hitter. And a throw over to first.
Jimmy, what about the chances of, with 1 out, bunting him over to second base to get him in scoring position?
I've seen it done. I mean, it's not against any law or rule or anything. I mean, I've seen it done.
Here's the pitch and a strike.
The thing about it is what Gary is looking at out there is that gap in between first and second. That second baseman is cheating so much over to second that if he hits just a weak grounder there and it gets through, now we got a first and third situation.
And also on deck, Damon Mayshore, who's had a tough time at the plate.
Gostkowski delivers. There's a shot. Will it make the gap? It's trying to get down. That looks like a winner. Jason Wood doing the job. Here's the turn at third. It could be the winning run. A play at the plate. Safe. And the Stars come away a winner. A big 1-out hit for Jason Wood. And the Stars will go home a winner by the count of 2-1. What a close. What a night.
And listen to the fans pulling for the Stars, screaming just as loudly tonight as he did last night when Michael Jordan hit the game-winning RBI. Tonight, really coming behind the home team and pulling it out. And this is Huntsville Stars baseball for 1994.
And Chris Hart has to feel a little bit better after blowing the chance to sacrifice. He had a chance to come over and score the winning run. Once again, 2-1. Let's come back after this timeout.
One of my duties in the fire department is to test all the new trucks. I want them to have the same quality as my car. Of course, the Saturn has better pickup. I like to drive my Saturn more than my fire truck. The Saturn's a lot easier to drive. So if I'm going to a 4-alarm fire, I'm going to take my fire truck. If I go anyplace else, I take the Saturn. When people see me coming, they better get out of the way.
WHNT invites the Tennessee Valley to our open house, Sunday, May 1st from noon to 4. Come out and meet the new Center 19 news team. Experience our backyard weather and meet Mr. Food, WHNT's favorite chef. Purchase one of these Mr. Food cookbooks and help MDA. We'll have balloons for the kids and magic by illusionist Jeremy Bass. Make your plans to come to WHNT's open house Sunday, May 1st from noon to 4. If you had captured this with your home video camera or any of these newsworthy events, you could have been $25 richer and become a part of WHNT's News Tipper 19 network. To participate, write us in care of the station. We'll send you a packet of information and sign you up. And if we use your video, WHNT will pay you $25 and mention your name on the air. News Tipper 19, just another reason WHNT is here for you.
Well, Steven Spielberg couldn't have written any better script tonight. Let's start by giving credit to the weather. Great weather. Michael Jordan in town tonight. They lost last night, a chance for redemption. Great pitching duel, 1-1, ninth inning with one out. Jason Wood coming through. He scored. The former Auburn Tiger, Chris Hart. How much better could it be in front of the biggest crowd ever here at Joe Davis Stadium? And we can't take a look at that enough. Let's go back and see the big hit here with one out. There it is, the tweener. And we talked about the Stars outfielder with all that speed. You got to wonder if they'd have cut it off. The Barons unable, Coughlin doing the best he could, but Hart motoring around third, showing some good speed. And as we mentioned earlier, he's the last guy you want to see coming around third base in that type of situation. He is determined to get in there no matter what it takes. 2-1 the final, guys. How much better could it be?
Not much better in my part. Jason Wood, that's his 8th RBI so far this season. And the Huntsville Stars, as we've mentioned, Jimmy, this is the way they've won a lot of ball games this year. Take it to the bottom of the 9th inning. Just give them another shot. They can get on base and bring him around.
Good pitching and defense and timely hitting wins a lot of ball games.
And the numbers bear it out. The Stars 8-1.
I feel sorry for Russ. He threw his heart out. And Steve Phoenix came in there and he throws, what, an inning and a half?
Innings, yeah.
and what they called squawk the win.
Oh, I'm sure he's catching it down. And speaking of down, let's go down to Steve Johnson and check in with some of those happy Stars fans.
Well, actually, Harold and Jamie, I'm not with the well, yeah, you are a happy Stars fan. He's one of the owners, Dr. Ray Shepard. And Ray, how do you feel about this? I mean, it's got to be fun. You guys just bought the team and this huge crowd and money. How do you feel about this?
Well, this is fantastic. We're really excited to have such crowds out here. We want to have this as a showcase for what Huntsville can provide for the community.
It's really neat that a local ownership group and early in your first season you're going to have 3 of the largest crowds in the history of the franchise.
Well, that's right. That's right. I think it's great to have all the kids out here, the families. We want to show that this is a family atmosphere and attract a lot of people out for these 3 days to show them what baseball is all about and what we can offer in the community.
You think these folks who came just to see Michael Jordan will come back just to see the Stars?
Well, I hope they catch the baseball fever. You know, with Atlanta doing so well, of course, Oakland's not doing as well, and some of these guys may very well move up into the big leagues before the end of the season.
Okay, well, we've had a few good ones here before, and Gary says this team might could win a championship. They look like that. Wouldn't that be great, first year of local ownership, to win a championship?
Oh, we'd be tickled pink. That would fulfill our dream.
Okay, were you glad Michael Jordan didn't get a hit?
I just want Michael to do well. I want all the players to do well.
Diplomat, and they're all over the place. Anyway, Ray Shepard, Dr. Ray Shepard, one of the owners, and he's happy. I would imagine the rest of the owners are too, guys.
That's what it's all about so far. The Stars this year, they've managed to win. Seems like every night you got a new hero. Tonight, Jason Wood stepping in.
Well, that's what it takes to be a good team. I mean, it's not just one person who wins ball games. Hitting's contagious, fielding's contagious, and so's base running. The whole game is contagious. Once one person does it, it passes on to other people in the lineup, and it just keeps on going.
And we mentioned the Huntsville Stars doing very well in last out situations, 8-1 already this young season in last out situations. And we saw a terrific ball game tonight between 2 very good ball clubs. Birmingham, of course, improving, starting out very slow. But the Huntsville Stars bullpen, 11 wins already in this young season.
And
so
one of the reasons, putting the period on the end of the guy who got him last night, Michael Jordan. We have a few highlights for you from his performance here tonight. His second game last night, keep in mind, he was 1 for 4, had that big double. And tonight, well, Mr. Russ Brock with a little different idea. He got him to strike out the first time up. In fact, Michael Jordan, the second time up, trying to get it, but there's Wood, the hero of the night, showing he can do it with a glove as well. His third time up, and ground ball this time to the second sacker, Sobolewski. On to Shockey, 0 for 3 to this point. And Jason Wood, well, can he do it again? He's 0 for 3 at this point, and there you see he goes fishing, and he strikes out the big 6'6" guy with a big strike zone. Goes 0 for 4 tonight, and I think his batting average now down at 281. He came in tonight, once again batting 300, Jimmy.
Well, you know, Michael Jordan, he's a big guy. He's got a lot of tools, a lot of talent, and I think through a matter of time, after seeing pitch after pitch after pitch, he's going to start making those adjustments and know exactly what he has to do. I think he's got all the tools in the world. My prediction from when I first saw him on ESPN and your stations here locally on 19 was he'll spend one time around the whole Southern League, go to AAA, and to the end of the season he'll go up.
He's getting a lot of little bloopers too. We didn't see it tonight, but we saw a lot of last night. We saw some little bloopers that were caught by the center fielders. Michael Jordan not really hitting the ball very hard right now, and I think in talking to some of the guys in the organization, they want to see Michael Jordan really hitting the ball hard, hitting a couple of pitches off of the outfield fence, and then maybe getting him up into the AAA.
Sure, that's just a matter of time, though. I mean, you know, the guy hadn't played since what, for 14 years?
14 years ago in high school.
You know, I mean, sure. I'd still have a hard time going out there and hitting, and I've only been out of it for 4 or 5. And
that's a good point.
But again, the real hero tonight. Oh, you got to go with Russ Brock. You also got to go with Jason Wood and that big hit tonight. But still, a lot of fans here to see Michael Jordan. Let's go downstairs with the very own WHNT and Sports Center 19 Steve Johnson with some of those fans.
Well, I tell you what, I want to show you something. You see that big crowd down there? They're waiting for the possibility that Michael Jordan is going to come out of the dugout and walk to the team bus. Now, he did that last night. It's like the guy said, he's not coming out tonight. But they're waiting on him just like they did last night. Michael Jordan, extremely popular athlete, as you can tell by a record crowd to see this baseball game. I tell you what, here's a little fan right here. You just walked up at the right time. Do you know who Michael Jordan is? Is that why you came to the game tonight?
Yeah.
What do you think about how he did?
Good.
Now, let me ask you this. You got Michael Jordan's picture?
Uh-huh.
Okay. What do you think about baseball? Do you like baseball in general?
Yeah.
Were you glad the Stars won?
Huh?
Were you glad the Stars won?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. What's your name?
Ryan.
Where are you from, Ryan?
Tough
question. Huntsville? Okay, he's from the Tennessee Valley. Okay, guys. So anything going on up there?
Yeah, you just talked with one of the record-breaking 12,819 fans. Once again, a record crowd tonight here at Joe Davis Stadium. And on behalf of everyone here on Sports Center 19 team, Jamie Tucker, Jimmy Jones, good to see you again, the former Huntsville star.
Good to see you guys.
On behalf
and
of...
I appreciate you guys having me up here. I enjoy it.
Good to have you. Thanks so much for joining us. On behalf of Steve Johnson, John Pearson, and the entire Sports Center 19 team, again the final here at Joe Davis Stadium. The Stars a winner by the count of 2-1 as we join Rescue 911 in progress, followed by News Center 19 at 10. Good night, everybody.
Nearly a year later, Bob finally